Ritz, but she don't use red chip or the green. She don't use purple or any of these. She uses tangerine. Tangerine. Tangerine.
Shoot the Core Cast.
Welcome to Shoot the Corecast, the official companion podcast to the ARF Generation Shmup Club. This is a family-friendly shmup-themed podcast that isn't just a fan of shooting games. We're crackers for them, or quackers. I'm addicted to Tex-Mexium de Mayo.
And I am MetalFRO, also known as Game Boy Guru. If you would like to connect with the podcast, you can do so in a number of ways. You can follow us over on X at ShootCorecast, or follow me there directly at Game Boy Guru. You can also find Shoot the Corecast on Blue Sky, so check us out there. Find the links to all of our socials and feeds and various things on our Linktree page. That is linktr.ee/shootthecorecast. You will also find a link there to our Discord server, which we would highly recommend you join so that you can play alongside us with the various monthly games and our Focus Shot game and talk shmups and gaming in general. We have a good and lively community, so definitely come check that out. Also, please follow, like, subscribe, rate, review, do all the algorithm stuff for the podcast. Help us out and spread the message of shmups. And then also follow me over on Twitch to get notifications of new streams, because I do stream the Shmup Club game of the month multiple times every month, and that is twitch.tv/Guru Game Boy.
When you go to Shmup Slam, you need to have something akin to that. Have you met our not really our Lord and Savior, but something similar to that, but Mark MSX.
Right. Like
our shmup savior, Mark MSX.
Like the shmup fans who say, do you have a moment to talk about our savior Yagawa or Ikeda?
Oh, Gawange.
Gawang.
Gawang. All right. So I'm just going to come clean here. I have not had a chance to play any DDP DFK. Work-life balance has been shot out the window, and I spent so much of it getting ready for summer and everything else on here. Not only that, I made the decision to start playing Pragmata, which I got very heavily involved in. And then after that, I said, this Lego Batman thing seems pretty good, so I got heavily involved in that. And then today I just ended up with the new Yoshi game, so I've worked myself into a corner, and it's my fault, and I know that the Steam sale is coming up pretty soon too, so I don't know.
I get it.
I'm beyond hope at this point.
I myself have a backlog of games I need to play, and so right now, all I'm juggling is our game of the month, a little bit of DFK, KaiCon practice for Shmup Slam 8, and then when I have a weekend day available, streaming some Breath of the Wild. Once the musical is over here in just over a week from the date of recording, then I'll be able to slow down a little bit and hopefully start incorporating some other things. There's at least one game in my backlog that I was reasonably far along with that I want to get back to. And I think I'll be able to do that fairly quickly because I can play that handheld on the Switch and get that one completed and then, move on to something else. But anyway, I have put in a little bit of time with DFK. I played it a little the other day and I was messing with it a little bit earlier before we recorded. And the Arrange A, which is also listed as version L in the game, that's the one that I've been focusing the most on. And it's an interesting beast because I feel like if you play normally and you don't activate the boost mode, it feels like your ship is really underpowered, at least to me. But then if you activate boost mode, everything is much more powered up. But enemies are more aggressive and they shoot more bullets at you. But it doesn't seem like it's that way all the time. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Some enemies, their patterns feel like they're more aggressive in normal versus boost, and then some are the other way around. But the curious thing is DFK's big hook is the bullet canceling with hyper. If you get a screen full of bullets and you activate hyper and then you use the regular shot instead of the focus laser, you cancel bullets into stars for points. And that also ups your hit counter. But that only works in a range A if you're in boost. If you're normal, the hyper is much more like a DOJ hyper where it just does extra damage. So it's an interesting range. I still don't quite know how I feel about it. And the farthest I've been able to get so far is the stage 4 boss. I really don't have any good idea on how to approach the stage 4 boss. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to go back to vanilla DFK and see how well I can do, or try Black Label again, even though I think that's probably a harder mode. The other thing that I did earlier was play Black Label Arrange, which of course is what is generally known colloquially in the shmup community as Ketsupachi. And man, that mode is wild. It is so visually busy that it is difficult to really tell what's going on a lot of the time. And that's saying a lot for a game like DFK, which is already very visually busy. Something weird that I noticed. Well, first of all, just to touch on the mechanics briefly, obviously in Ketsui, if you point blank enemies and you get the 5 chips, then you can carry that over for a short time with a lock-on shot and continue to get 5 chips for a little bit, no matter what your distance is from enemies. Well, in Ketsupachi, when you get those 5 chips and then do the lock-ons, you get 10, the chips with a 10 on them instead. And I think that is what builds your ability to do hyper and to stack your hypers in the same way that you do in regular DFK by shooting enemies point blank and all of this stuff. But you have to point blank, of course, in order to start the chain that gives you the 10 chips. Well, the other weird thing is when you're doing that and you're point blanking enemies, especially once you've got a 10 chip streak going, while that's happening, enemies get more aggressive. They shoot more bullets at you. So it's an interesting dynamic. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. It's kind of cool. And I like the fact that it has a nice arrangement of the Ketsui soundtrack. But yeah, it's really difficult to keep track of things visually. And so I think I only made it to stage 3 in that when I was playing around with it earlier, but it's an interesting take on the formula. But when you've got the DFK stars and the Ketsui chips all flying around and coming at you at the same time, while you're trying to pay attention to enemy bullets, even though Cave did a reasonably good job of prioritizing enemy bullets on screen, there's still so much going on that it can be difficult to see the bullets even though they're on top. So yeah, it's wild, but yeah, that's my DFK update.
Nice. All right, let's move on to the shmup news that hopefully somebody could use. Nintendo has announced a new Star Fox game titled Star Fox. It's a remake of the Star Fox 64 with new additional content, more cutscenes, more barrel rolls, and a multiplayer battle mode. It launches on June 25th on Switch 2. That'll be here before you know it.
I know, and I want to buy it. I shouldn't buy it right away because I still have a couple games in the tank, but I did do a pretty good job. I mean, at a minimum, I should probably finish my Breath of the Wild run before I go out and buy another Switch 2 game. But yeah, it does look good.
I could see our Discord channel now, somebody creating a meme of you as Bilbo Baggins on there. After all, why not? It is a shmup.
Yes. Well, and I know that Mark goes to the mat for Star Fox being a shmup, and so I'm pretty sure he's got a Switch 2. I know he's got a Switch 2 because he and I had a conversation about that. And so I imagine, even though this is yet another remake of 64, he will probably cave and buy this one too. Sabario XYZ is back with another smooth scrolling patch, this time to update Parodius for the MSX. And as with the previous patch for R-Type, this only works on the MSX2 Plus or Turbo R MSX models.
You know, I think the MSX is the only only console/computer to take a look at the Genesis lock-on technology and say, hold my beer.
Yeah, except the MSX did it first.
True. Ardius Victus Prologue X Aria. Whoa, that's a fun name to say. Just like Gwange. Is a new browser-based shmup from developers Unhinged Gecko Studios, my type of people. Irmaz and Maria Estrella Vaca. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Developed by the GameDev.js 2026 Game Dev. It's a vertical danmaku with both shooting and melee combat. I like it.
Yeah. East Asia Soft has shipped out the Soldner X Complete Collection. I actually got mine in the mail here a couple of weeks ago. And that began shipping on May 14th, which was the digital release date for the Soldner X2 Final Prototype Definitive Edition. And so, yeah, those are out. We have them. They're out in the wild, and I've seen a bunch of posts on Reddit, X, Discord, etc. of people receiving their copies.
EC3 Arcade in Connecticut is hosting Arcade Shmup Celebration Summer Carnival 26. August 14th through the 16th. All 18 cabinets in the arcade will be packed with shmups, along with 16 consoles and multiple retro PCs. Be a huge celebration of the genre over the weekend. You too can try and beat Takahashi Mijin.
I'm tempted to go to this because, number one, I've wanted to go see this arcade since I'm borderline. The guy who owns it put it together, and I know there are some folks in our community who live out in that area. Zero Lux has been there, and iHoz has been there, and so it would be awesome to go out and be able to meet some of those folks and just spend an extended weekend doing that. We'll see. I would love to go do this, but it might be. We'll see if I can make it happen.
Well, if you go head out that way, you need to say hi to Wild Bill.
Yeah. Oh, possibly. Yeah. Einen Games posted that R-Type Dimensions 3 launched digitally on May 19th. The physical versions have been delayed, which is a good thing right now, because there have been a lot of reports of, shall we say, many, many bugs in the game. And my understanding is that they didn't have access to the source code, so they're kind of rebuilding the game from scratch. But, I mean, there are some egregious bugs. Things like bullets completely traveling through your force pod, which is supposed to be blocking all bullets. Or, random hitbox weirdness where nothing will touch you and you'll just randomly die. Stages, there was some footage of somebody who they had a soft lock during the sort of crab walker boss in, it's either stage 2 or 3, that crawls the walls and stuff. And, it took forever to
I think there's
out.
A typo.
What's that?
You said Einen Games posted that R-Type Dimensions 3 launched. I think you meant to say that Einen Games has posted that R-Type Dimensions 3 beta launched digitally on May 19th.
Yeah, well, that's what it feels like in some respects. And when the Raiden Fighters Remix Collection launched, even though it was locked at 60 frames per second, there was no 54 FPS mode, and there was input delay, a lot of the Japanese players were still happy about it because it was available again. But the Japanese players are not happy about this, and certainly the Western players have been dumping all over this game, just absolutely savaging it online. So it's a problem. But Einen has acknowledged that, and there are patches in the works, and so hopefully those will be coming soon. And I'm also hoping that the delay with the physical is good. They were saying that the physicals are supposed to arrive in August, so I'm hoping the delay gives them enough time to patch the game enough to where maybe the physical games will ship with some patches on board, so that what we get in the mail isn't completely broken and the game cards themselves effectively useless. I'm still excited about the giant Dobkeratops statue, but I am a little concerned that we're gonna get something that is not gonna be a good experience as soon as you boot it up.
Are you saying that you don't want a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 situation?
I am indeed.
Also, when you said Carrot Tops, for some reason my mic cut out and I heard you say you want a giant Carrot Top statue.
No, thank you.
If they gave that out to everyone, I would surprisingly wouldn't like, okay, all right, well, let's move on to better news here. Not only is Project Neon from developer Fullset getting a Sega Saturn cartridge release, but it's also being tested on the Dreamcast, the 64, and there's a Steam page up for the game. It's only listed as coming 2026, but it's exciting to see the game beginning to move outward from its roots on the Neo Geo. Oh, geez, the 64, I could just imagine someone trying to beat that with the original controller there. Oh, someone's going to need to bring out those Donkey Kong gloves. Or the power glove.
We'll just wait for Jamers to do that.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, physical. Only time you get a physical injury from actually playing the shmup.
Yeah. The Saturn cartridge version is expensive, and the N64 version is expensive. Thankfully, the Dreamcast version is much more closer to what you would expect to pay for an indie shoot 'em up. And so I'll probably go with the Dreamcast version just for ease of operation and cost. But I like the fact that this is happening, and I especially like the fact that it's hitting Steam as well. But this is a neat little game. I mentioned last year that I played this at Shmup Slam, and it was pretty cool. Very challenging, but of course you have to expect that with a good shmup. And so anyway, yeah, really cool that this is getting out there and proliferating.
Yeah, the problem I think with why it's so expensive for the cartridge releases is that memory could be going to AI data center, and since they had to pry it away, you just got to pay more for it.
I for one welcome our new Neo Geo overlords.
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to release Neo Geo branded GPUs next from NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Because gold-plated wasn't enough. They need to add more to the cost, so let's make them have Neo Geo branding.
There you go. 330 mega pro spec.
On your GPU.
Developer Enrique GG has posted a nearly 2-minute teaser for a forthcoming, as yet unnamed vertical shooter coming to Steam. There's no date yet, but based on the trailer, the game has multiple ships to use, multiple pilots to choose from, and a number of weapon types at your disposal. It also has an anime aesthetic and a coin collection system, though it's unclear if that's for in-game shop, scoring, or maybe both. But it looks like a 90s arcade shooter with a combination of danmaku and classic elements.
Do you realize you just described pretty much all the buzzwords for any shooter?
Yeah.
Any STG? Danmaku, it's like word soup or word salad for... It's danmaku, coin collecting, anime aesthetic, different weapons.
Yeah, I know.
Opie. I mean, it's just like...
I am just trying to...
I appreciate it, but it's like, tell us what this is in the most generic way possible. Sorry.
Well, from the 2-minute teaser, that's all I can glean.
Fair enough. We'll leave it at that. Ryan Molina, creator of the vertical shooter Popcorn Rocket, has self-published physical versions of the game. Well, kudos. It's available digitally on all modern platforms, but if you want a physical version, you can hold it in the 3 options. Left arm, left eye, kidney. No, there's a PS4 retail release with a box and disc and PC DVD version of the box, disc, and insert and PC USB version. You can insert USB containing the game. I wonder if anybody would at this point in time would buy the PC DVD and go, where do I put it in? Links to buy all versions are available at popcornrocket.com. I like this.
Yeah, I went ahead and just bought both the DVD and USB versions just to support the dev and stuff. And so those actually shipped out really fast, and I got them in the mail already. I might grab the PS4 version just because it's cool that someone was able to self-publish a PS4 game. But yeah, that's pretty neat. I like that, and I definitely want to see more of that and support more of that. And so the more we can do that with these kinds of games so that they don't have to go through boutique publishers all the time, the better.
Yeah, I was thinking that here we'd hit the jackpot with limited demand games, but this guy one-upped us.
Yeah. The Steam page is live now for an upcoming vertical shooter simply titled Shmup from Conti Games. The game will feature 6 special attack types that can be used throughout the game. Screenshots also show score markers along the left side of the screen for each stage, as well as info on the right side indicating stage progress, current rank, how close you are to earning an extend, boss health, and more.
Oh, geez. I thought for a second you were saying vertical tutor for a second there. You caught yourself just to the top. It's like, yes. It reminded me of the Bluey episode my kids are watching, and it's too difficult to say. Right. Twitter user at Alamone has created a mod for Gokujo Parodius that allows you to skip to a certain stage and begin the second loop after being the first loop. The mod also allows to set appropriate ranks for the special stages difficult as you normally encounter on a normal run. The mod run can be burned to chips to them, burned on physical chips installed on real PCB to enable this functionality. Yeah, where would you get... I wonder... I never looked into it, but I wonder how you would actually just burn those ROMs on there. And maybe you get them from Voltar?
No, our pal Joel does it all the time, where you just find the right type of EEPROM, and then you can buy ROM burners that will take those and you socket them in. You write the data to those, and then on the original board, you basically desolder the existing ROM chips, and then you either solder the replacement ones to the board, or you solder on ZIF sockets so that you can slot the ROMs in, and then that way you can kind of make them interchangeable.
Well, it's not a real project until you have to lift the legs of one of the EEPROMs and then solder a wire to some point on the PCB.
Right. But yeah, I've seen Joel play the game on stream and get through and get to the final stage and then loop the game. I've seen other players do it too, but then when you loop the game, if you die, that's it. You can't continue. You're just done. And so, yeah, this is pretty cool, so that on real arcade hardware, you could effectively, like you would with an emulator using save states, use that to practice the special stage that comes after the first loop. And then that way, hopefully you can learn how to do it properly to then allow you to maybe beat that stage and kind of see the I guess the quote unquote real ending of the game.
The real nonsense at the end of the game, indeed.
Yeah. Canyon Raid from Astro Games is a forthcoming vertical shooter in the vein of the classic River Raid, but is a modern homage to that Atari game. The release is only listed as 2026 at this point, but a demo is available to try.
Moni Moni Shoot is a free game from developer Motoba, which is an unofficial fan-made work based on the VR chat avatar Moni Moni Konika. It is a vertical danmaku shooter with cartoon styling. Can be downloaded from the Motoba Ginka booth.pm page.
Bit of a mouthful.
Jeez, no kidding. Everyone's just trying to make me put me in a difficult situation.
Yeah. The Switch version of the Ray's Arcade Chronology from Strictly Limited Games is now officially in production, according to them. There's still no word on the limited and collector edition releases, but at least there is some movement. So hopefully we'll we'll see those in our hands before 2030.
I don't know. I think 2031 by the earliest.
Oh, don't say that.
By then, we'll have already covered every single game in there.
Yeah, right.
RB Rigid showed early footage of a new vertical danmaku shmup in development, tentatively titled Klingstrom. The footage isn't very long, but looks promising even at early stages. Hopefully it's not all in Klingon.
No, that's German. Klingensturm.
Oh, German. Oh, so you know what? Anytime you use the German words in your shmup, it turns out to be a banger. Just like Sturmwind.
Right. We need to cover that game.
Or Soldner.
Yeah. Okay. After over 100 days of delay, the Android version of Acecraft Sky Hero has finally returned to the North American Google Play Store. The development team continually said that the delays were due to, quote, infrastructure updates, end quote, but the iOS version was reinstated well over a month ago now. There's speculation that the game's lengthy absence was related to the in-game purchases and that these were not somehow funneled through either Google or Apple infrastructure, bypassing both of those payment systems from those partners. I don't know if we're ever going to truly know, but that seems to be the prevailing thought from the community. And especially from players around the Acecraft Discord. They were thinking, yeah, you guys were not giving Google or Apple their cut for in-game purchases, and so they got their hands slapped and had to backpedal. But either way, at least it's back, and I've been enjoying the game again.
Nice. I just thought a good idea for Klingstrom. I think that we need to have the soundtrack done by Rammstein. Du hast.
Du hast mich.
All I think was that the mashup, play that funky music, Rammstein.
Oh, yes. That's good.
Right. Clear River Games is doing physical version of 12-Plan Arcade Garage Flying Fire Shark. Flying Fire Shark do. Alright. This will mirror the Japanese releases for Switch and PS4, and they're slated to include the console versions as well. They're slated to launch on August 26th. Is Fire Shark going to be one of those things that ends up like the original Super Mario Brothers, where you just have 60 different flavors of it?
I don't know. I think this is just Embracer Group and M2 milking this as long as they can by doing all these different releases. Who knows if and when M2 will do another 12-Plan Arcade Garage release. So this might just be buying time to give them the ability to work on the next one. I don't know.
I could just see it be a QQQ Tiger Turbo, Super QQQ Tiger.
Right.
Or they could go the really Japanese route, add 1.5 to it for some reason.
Oh, geez. Aru Winged Fox has released another small danmaku game called Eden's Exalt, with help from Silvasprit and Mungo. The game was made in 10 days for Bullet Hell Jam 7, and as with previous entries, it's free to download.
Wait, it's made from Mongo. How did he break free from jail? Last I saw in Blazing Saddles, he was in jail. Did he break free?
Apparently.
Oh, jeez. Wow. All right. Developer Blue and White has a Steam page up now for Tails Gear HD, a retooling of the original Dojin game Tails Gear released in 2007, which next year will be 20 years.
I know.
Time flies. It has a system where you can use the option pods your ship can utilize to cancel bullets in addition to providing additional firepower. It looks like it'll take inspiration from Rayforce and other 90s arcade shooters. The game was only listed as coming soon, but this remake has been in development for some time.
This game looks awesome. I am genuinely looking forward to this. In the same way that I'm looking forward to the eventual release of Endrant Star, because it looks like a Sega CD or Turbo Duo shmup. I'm looking forward to this because it almost looks like, what if you took Rayforce, added some danmaku, and some fun bullet canceling mechanics, and threw in a dash of I'm trying to think of the name of the game that we covered here a few years back. Another Taito Grid Seeker, and just it just looks really good. And so anyway, I'm gushing a little bit for about a game I've not played, but yeah, it looks cool. Hotego has added another Konami classic to the MiSTer platform, this time with a Gradius 3 arcade core.
Very nice. It's sort of funny to see just now after the release of Gradius Origins, now we're starting to see all the MiSTer releases. I'm not knocking his work. I'm sure it takes a lot of hard work. It's just like, where was this a couple years ago when we were covering this game?
Oh, right.
Then everybody could have been miserable together, darn it.
Hey, we had the PS2 version, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we're all miserable with that one. Ugh. All right. Project Rolling Gunner Team has now a official website for Elementaler Alex Falta. There's still no release date set, but hopefully it means it's getting close.
Yeah, the last footage they released still looks pretty cool. Even though this game will probably eat my lunch just like Rolling Gunner does, it still looks awesome. So I want to play it.
At least it doesn't make you lose your lunch like the Star Wars arcade battle pod.
Almost. Developer Joseph Chai has released Stellar Peacemaker, a web-based shmup. It can be played on the jchai01.itch.io page, as well as the game's Wave Dash page. It's got an interesting twist with some missions that require downward scrolling instead of upward. A bit like, what's that NES game that does downward scrolling?
Am I thinking of Guardian Legend, or is that something different?
No, it's the Abadox. That's the one I was trying to think of.
Oh, yeah.
Not very many games do that, so I thought that was interesting.
Not unless you're Mr. Driller.
Right.
Loki Striker is developing a new vertical shmup on the Picotron platform, which is a successor to the Pico 8 standard. It doesn't have a name just yet, but looks promising. It appears to use a Rayforce-style lock-on system. It is the month of Rayforce.
Indeed.
May the Rayforce be with you.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I keep all those jokes in a database. Oh, boy.
Oh, you've been waiting your whole life to say that.
And now my work here is done.
The team behind the Famicom caravan shooter Habit is now offering a NES version via the Habitsoft Japan eBay page. I need to get on this because I've kind of missed the boat on the Famicom version, but it looked like a fun little shmup.
You better make it a habit.
Ha!
More bad dad jokes per capita. All right. Berseria Video Ludici is working on another shmup core for the Mr. FPGA, this time tackling Seibu Kaihatsu's original Raiden arcade board. This is Data East core in development, which should include the shmup adjacent run and gun Aktfancer, as well as a rare shmup Boogie Wings, the great ragtime show. Boogie Wings is a treasure.
Yeah, it's a very interesting game. super unique. I mean, I would say it's unique in the way that treasure games are unique. It just kind of does its own thing. And yeah, I mean, it's not a very widely played game, and you never see it in the wild. So it'll be cool to have, a fun way to play it other than MAME or whatever.
Was it a Galloping Ghost?
I don't remember if Galloping Ghost had this or not. I want to say no. I know Joel has a board or had a board, but I don't know if Galloping Ghost has a working board of this. Cyvaria 3 has officially been released. Initial impressions are mixed, but the Steam version is reasonably priced, so it's not expensive to check out. Red Art Games did post that there are already patches in the works to fix a scoring bug, as well as to make some other improvements. I've heard some, again, mixed feelings about the game from some players who say it doesn't feel like the older Cyvaria games. But there are others who seem to enjoy it, so I guess we'll see.
Sounds good. Another patch is available for Riding Fighters Remix Collection and the 54 FPS mode that players are asking for. No word yet on patching to reduce the input delay. Well, probably what's happening is Mark MSX says, I'll do it myself, and he went ahead and hooked up some weird concatenation that runs halfway across the room and did a descaler that then runs into a converter, and that converter goes to analog out, and that analog out hooks up to his 32-inch vertically mounted CRT TV. And then he's got the signal being buffered into whatever TV he's broadcasting from in the middle of nowhere, Idaho there.
That's the appropriate type of contraption that Mark would have, yes.
Yeah, I wonder if sometimes he just stole or squatted in the space that Max Headroom left behind.
Yeah. M2 President Naoki Hori posted on social media that M2's involvement and development of the long-awaited shooter Ubusuna has officially halted. And this was supposed to have been the sort of fabled third, quote-unquote, game in the trilogy, if you will, of Radiant Silvergun, Ikaruga, and Ubusuna. Lead designer Hiroshi Iuchi has resigned from M2, and the company decided it was best to drop the project without his involvement. Iuchi did say he had not given up hope on finishing the game, separate from M2, but for now it is not an active project.
Oh, I did read that right. It is Mullet. All right.
Yep.
Iron Mullet is a new space area like shmup adjacent from the developer's 16-bit Hyper Turbo. The game can be played in the browser on the developer's itch.io page, but there are downloadable versions for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Raspberry Pi as well. Appears to be a Pico 8 game.
Yeah, this one's pretty fast and furious. I kind of messed with it for a couple minutes since it was in the browser, and yeah, it definitely plays like what you might expect Space Harrier on the Game Gear to play like if it was fast and fluid. So, an interesting experience.
If it was fast and fluid, those batteries instead of lasting 30 minutes will last 15.
Most likely. Super Laydock 2 Last Attack joins the Egg console service on Nintendo Switch as of May 21st. This is the MSX2 Plus version of the STG, which, similar to Salamander, has both horizontal and vertical scrolling stages.
Bullet Spell from Night Stroll Studio is a forthcoming shooter that has a unique approach. You control 2 characters at once in a single-player experience, or can team up for co-op play. The game features a rewind system instead of lives, the ability to play both Yoko and Tate orientation with 12 levels. It's only listed as releasing in 2026 so far.
LKK Game has announced their next title called Gana Force. A Steam page is already up for wish listing, and it's slated to come out here in 2026. The game definitely takes a Gradius style approach, complete with items to collect that advance a power-up bar, as well as options to increase your attack. It also appears to have a bit of an R-Type inspiration. There are multiple characters to choose from, which may affect what your loadout options will be. The Steam page does have an AI disclosure stating that, quote, some game assets were designed with reference to AI-generated images, end quote. I don't think this is a huge surprise because we have seen art from previous LKK game releases that were basically just traces or, blatant ripoffs, copy pasta, if you will, from other games. But the games themselves are all pretty solid and fun, as we saw with Gana Blade. So I guess I'll reserve judgment on this one.
You're the same one who did Red and Blue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, even though they did do copy and stuff, the price them at $5, which is not that bad,
Right.
Especially in this economy. Right, you're getting yourself a Slurpee seems to cost more than $5 these days. So as long as it's reasonably priced and disclosed up front, I don't have a huge issue with it.
Yeah, I'd rather pay $5 for a solid shmup that'll be fun to play than for a bougie cup of coffee. I don't even drink coffee, but something like that.
Yeah, I was beginning with you going to call it Ganja Force at the beginning.
Ganja Force.
This one is made by Snoop Dogg apparently. All right. It appears that Tsuneki Ikeda has retired and is no longer CEO of Cave. This was confirmed via social media post from fellow games industry veteran Ichiro Miyahara, which casually mentioned that Ikeda's retirement when having dinner with him. It's speculated Ikeda had actually retired a few months ago, but came in no announcement. Presumably, so announcement of the recent investment into the company would not be overshadowed by his departure.
Yeah, lots of speculation about this in the shmuposphere. But it's interesting, and we'll kind of touch on this later. But of course, we've already mentioned in a previous episode the updated release of DFK that's coming. Dodonpachi Resurrection Reignite or whatever it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head. And there's other stuff in the works that we'll get to, but yeah, it's curious to you almost wonder if now that the company is under new management, if the new management is what has put the foot on the gas pedal and say, yeah, let's get some stuff going, so that we can utilize these properties that we have.
Well, it's the playbook seems to be working for SNK so far.
That's true. First Press Games has uploaded a video to their official YouTube channel recently showing off game boxes and manuals to several releases that have long been forthcoming. Included in the video are Neko Navy, which showed off the game card as well for the Switch, and then Crimson Clover, which only included the box and manual. No limited edition contents were shown other than the collectible coins that First Press Games has made as a part of their standard offering. I'm hoping this means that we're actually gonna, again, like with the Rays collection, I hope we're gonna see this stuff in the not too distant future. I never asked for refunds because I was hoping that these things would eventually show up. And so, if this is real and not just mock-ups that they put inside of cases, I mean, it looks legit based on, flipping through the manuals and taking close-ups of everything. It looks like it's real production stuff. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that they will finally fulfill these orders and deliver what they promised. I guess we'll see.
Two things on this. One, I had completely forgotten I ordered Neko Navy until you brought this up. And two, watch someone just open it up and it's actually just the manual in case with the googly eyes in the case.
Oh, geez.
You remember that from was that 2024?
Yeah, it was a couple years back.
Where they're sealed, yeah. Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. I would be so burned.
You'd be flying out and say, I'll show you Neko Navy.
Yeah.
Angry Bird. Neko Navy meets Angry Birds. All right. Gradius Generation Black Labels out now, and thanks to download. The patch are available on the ROM hacking site.
Yeah, I baited this a while back, and it definitely makes the game harder and adds some other elements. But if you want more Gradius Galaxies or Gradius Generation in your life, check it out. Void Cutter Fusor from Howling Cat Games LLC is releasing on Steam June 1st. It is a vertical shooter with pixel art graphics and chiptune music. Appears to have analog movement capability and some kind of shield system. And based on the video on the Steam page, that's about all I can say.
Fair enough. Ghost Filament has released Starcrossed, a vertical danmaku made for Bullet Hell Jam 7. It's a free download from the devs itch.io page. Sorry, I was reading that Bullet Hell Jam. It just maybe the Black Betty song popped in my head. Ooh, Bullet Hell Jam, Ram-Ballam.
Good stuff. The Steam page is up now for Eden's Eclipse, the third game in the Eden series from X.X Game Room. There's no release date yet, but the game already looks like it has the same polish and quality that the devs' other games have shown. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I haven't yet played the previous title, and we are way behind on featuring an X.X Game Room title on the podcast. It's funny. When I was typing this into the notes, I was thinking about how when we first started the podcast, the first Dojin game that we played was Warning Forever, and we were looking at between that and Bluish Resurrection, and we ended up going with Warning Forever. And so at some point, we really need to get Bluish Resurrection in the lineup so that we can play that, because even all these years later, it's still an awesome game.
Let's put it to a poll.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hamster has acquired the rights to most of the Warashi catalog of games, minus Triggerheart Excelica, which is now owned by Kazumaki. The first release utilizing this new acquisition is Geki o Shiru, which dropped on May 28th. As with previous console archive releases, it will only be available on Switch 2 and PS5. It appears to be released on the PlayStation release. Future Warashi shmups we could see via arcade archives would be Sengeki Striker or Shinryu Explosion, aka Steel Dragon. You must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance against me. Hamster also released Big Fight via the arcade archives on May 28th. That's like some of the like, running going on. Someone's running in school. Fight! Big fight!
Yeah. Fight Big Fighter is a Nihon Busan joint, I think. And it's sort of like a flying mech that I think it transforms between a mecha and a plane or spaceship form.
So somebody had a lot of fun with Dexter.
Yeah, something like that. Pixel is retooling the original Horgy Hue game as part of the developer's 10th anniversary celebration. It will be released digitally and physically for Nintendo Switch and will contain new sound, change to boss and enemy behavior, and various other tweaks. And that is set for an October 22nd release. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
I mean, Horgy Hue is one of those things that I like, but at the same time, it's not seen like you don't hear that name announced a lot.
Right.
So I hope it does well, but we'll see. Super Rare Games is doing a physical release of Platypus Reclade for Switch and PS5. It's up for pre-order now on their website. And I got to tell you, if they don't include a collector's edition that comes with different colors of clay, they're missing out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a collector's edition, but yeah, that would have been a cool idea.
I want to make Mr. Bill in the game.
Oh no! For those who missed the previous physical releases of the game, Shinyuden is doing a physical print of Soldice for the Mega Drive. This will be a Spanish language edition. And it looks like it's very close to what Retrobit did with their recent print. I'm wondering if Shinyuden is somehow related or if it's all being licensed to the same deal, but kind of cool that this is out there again.
Early access on Steam began May 29th for Toho Creator, and the world was never the same. A new engine that will allow players to craft their own Toho games and bullet patterns and immediate testing as part of the process. Developer Shira had previously released the fan game Toho Madaruko. I think that somebody's whole life will just turn into making Toho games now.
It's possible. The fact that now there's a sort of official, unofficial way to make Toho games more easily. I suspect there are quite a few folks who will want to get in on that action. Developer Wonderloogie has released a new browser-based shmup on Newgrounds titled Reach for the Stars. It's a horizontal shooter with a couple of unique twists. Each shot that your ship fires pushes you back, and on the left side of the screen is a firewall which will hurt you. Also, shots that don't connect with enemies will boomerang back toward their initial firing position. So if you fire wantonly, you may end your run early. But it is free to play. I messed with this for a few minutes just to check it out, and it's a unique idea. Kind of I guess a little bit of a cute 'em up. Based on the sprite art, but yeah, much more slow and methodical approach to the genre.
Similar to like a dad shmup, or?
No, I don't know. It just, you know how in a lot of the early games, things like Demon Attack or whatever, where you had a limited number of shots you could shoot and you had to be a little bit more deliberate about aiming and things like that. It feels like an extension of that, but with additional stuff layered on top of that.
So if we were to sell it like a house, it has that retro charm.
I guess so.
Hey, I mean, heck, I am always up for something that's different, even if it acts like Space Invaders on the 2600.
Right.
So, let's see here. Shmup Meme has once again been updated further to improve the SH3 support for continued improvements in accuracy of cave games and other titles which uses CPU.
Yes, and the entire shmup emulation community rejoiced. And our final news item, as I alluded to earlier, is that City Connection has announced Mochi Mochi Pork and Pink Sweets Boosted. This brings forward the double pack of these lesser-known cave shooters from the Xbox 360 to modern platforms, and will include a new music arrangement alongside the existing additions from the previous ports. This bundle is set for a worldwide launch October 1st digitally on Steam, PS5, and Switch. And so far, the announced physical versions include a deluxe Mochi Mochi More Edition bundle that City Connection is doing in Japan, as well as a similar bundled version from Clear River Games. It is likely that limited run games will pick this up as well, but there's been no formal announcement as of yet. This is cool to see. We're discussing this on the Discord earlier, some of us, and I think this has a good chance of being a quality release. City Connection's Boosted line has been fraught with some issues because the Saturn Boosted releases, of course, suffer from the major input delay due to Saturn emulation inherently having a lot of input delay, and then additional latency on top of that because of the emulation layer, and then even worse for the Switch versions. And the R-Type Delta HD boosted release had some problems, but some of those were more due to the fact that they didn't have all of the original source code, so they kind of had to fill in the gaps in different places. They have been making improvements to that, but of course, it's still a bit of a work in progress with that. But assuming that they're working with Cave directly on this and they have access to the source code for the 360 version, because of the relative quality that was present in City Connection's Death Smiles 1 and 2 collection, I have hope that this will be reasonably good and that it'll bring forward those games and hopefully make them more widely available again. I especially like the fact that these are going to be on Steam. Being the collector I am, I'll probably buy the Clear River Games bundle for the Switch that has the soundtrack CD and the extra tchotchkes and stuff with it. But I would absolutely buy this on Steam as well, so that I could show them that, yes, we want these games on Steam. We want more of this. Give me all the shmups.
Just stay away from that mouse pad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't do a plot mouse pad, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I mean, and honestly, this makes us covering both of these games a whole lot more viable, because not everybody wants to mess with emulation. And now that the 360 version has been going for well over $100 on the aftermarket, it's a lot harder to justify, playing a game like this. I'll say I got lucky, quote unquote, with my version that I bought a few years ago. I think I paid right about $100 for mine, on the aftermarket. And at the time, that was a relatively good price based on what they were going for. Now, you're lucky to get that game for under $200, especially if you buy the larger box version. So I'm glad this is happening, and I hope that the quality is there and that the ports are good and represent the games well, especially because these are lesser known cave games, it would hopefully give an opportunity for the games to find a new audience. And for people to appreciate them.
Yeah, and it's sort of surprising. I think it's one of the only platinum releases in Japan, right? Where the game sold so well that they made a platinum version of it.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. Espagaluda 2 got a platinum release as well, because I have that version. Yeah, Futari.
Futari did, yep. And I'm not sure if DDP did.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Or DFK, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know for sure that Futari, Muchi did, and so did Espagaluda 2.
Yeah.
But anyways. Yeah, come on, everybody. Let's bring back Futari and let's bring back Ibarra.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we need Ibarra. We need Futari. What's the other one that's stuck on PS2?
Well, Trouble Witches was ported, wasn't it? But that's not PS2.
No, but yeah, I'm trying to think of. There's another cave game that's stuck. Well,
you talking about Guange?
Yeah, Guange is stuck on 360 still. Futari, of course. Ibarra. But I was thinking there was another...
Dodonpachi.
No, another cave game.
It came to PS4, but yeah. Oh, okay. The hot dog game?
No. I can't remember off the top of my head. But of course, Donpachi and Dodonpachi are still nowhere to be seen.
Right.
And so I'd like to see those eventually. But the fact that they're going back and putting these on Steam again, hopefully is a good sign that they will continue to do that and give us the player community more options, because we really want that flexibility.
I think as long as the ability to make money is there, I think we'll be okay. That people keep turning. I mean, if you had gone back maybe 10, 15 years ago, it would be like, yeah, look, I wish all these got ported. But a lot of this stuff is being brought forward now because there's actually a market for it.
Yeah.
Right? There's enough people who actually play on it. And despite PC prices being where they are to play games, most of the stuff now will play on the potato, right?
Yeah.
So, as long as you can get ahead of your local hobbits and get a potato, you can play these games.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing is, I don't know if it's just a coincidence that with Ikeda's departure, we're starting to see these games come to PC again, because obviously there was a batch of them that came to PC years ago. Death Smiles, Mushi, DFK, and wasn't there one other?
DFK, Mushi. Oh, wait, Mushi's the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah. And then Death Smiles. But other than the Death Smiles 1 and 2 release that City Connection did, there really hasn't been much since then. And I think some of that is because they just didn't sell very well. And so maybe Ikeda or the Cave team didn't feel like their efforts were, like it was worth the time to port them to PC, which makes sense when they were released over 10 years ago on that format. But now that the shmup market is somewhat hot again, the genre has seen a resurgence in popularity among players. There are a lot of guys our age and younger who are playing these games because, this is all I've got time to play when I've got a full-time job and I have a family and I might only have 30 minutes a day to sit down and play something. I'm never going to get through a 120-hour RPG at that kind of pace. But if I can sit down for 30 minutes a day and play a cave game, well, that enables me to get about a run or two in, and or I can do some stage practice and maybe bang out 2 or 3 1cc's a year if I can play it enough. And so I think there's ample opportunity now, again, that we see that the genre is probably the hottest that it has been in decades at this point, to where Cave is now coming back to doing this stuff in a non-mobile market. And so, like I say, I don't know if it's coincidence that Ikeda leaves and now they're going forward with all this stuff, or if this stuff was in the works before, and then when he felt like, okay, we have a good plan in place, I can pass the torch to somebody else, then he retires and, someone else can carry forward the vision. I don't know. I find the timing interesting, but either way, it's, it's just, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of an Xbox play, right? You got the people who are company doesn't, no matter what company it is, doesn't turn on a dime unless you're really a two-person startup, right? So most of this, some of the stuff, maybe most of the stuff was already pre-planned. It's just that they're doing this now because there's a larger market, right? And then some of the stuff you could take we're also fixing the results of our past. Now we're doing this too, so that we can improve to people, just like they're doing with Game Pass, right? Game Pass, the model that they had was having some issues, but now all of a sudden they got new leadership and they realize, we can't have a 30% year-over-year increase in sales on there. It's not going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to make different tiers and say, out with the old, look what we did. We brought back the prices. Now it's cheaper on this, but we had to get rid of Call of Duty because that was, and now all of a sudden everyone's cheering for it, right? You get new management that does these small victories, but the overall stuff that was in there has been set in stone a long time ago. Right? I mean, we are past, 6 years past 2020. A lot of the stuff that you would expect that was being thought of or happening here is already had some time to fruition, right? The PlayStation 5 is 6 years old.
Right. The other thing I'm wondering is if those Livewire ports and the previous City Connection release of Death Smiles 1 and 2 were in some ways trial balloons. That Cave said, okay, we'll license these games out so that they can get new ports. We'll see how they do. And those licensing agreements were probably, especially the ones with Livewire, were short term, because maybe Cave could say, well, is the market there like we wanted it to be when we first released these games on PC, but is the market there now to where there's still an appetite for them? And I think now that they see, oh yes, there's an appetite for them, and each one of the physical editions has sold out, and I'm assuming that the digital versions have sold relatively well, at least well enough for them to see that there is indeed a market. And especially now with the new management, hopefully that they're seeing that PC is and can be a viable platform for them alongside the console space, because a lot of the hardcore players, that's where they want to play. Hardcore players, generally speaking, are not flocking to the Switch because of a lot of the aforementioned issues of input delay and things like that. And we've seen the differences between some of those ports. There were clear differences between the Switch and 360 versions of Espgaluta 2 that we talked about a couple of years back. And so I just hope that there's enough momentum that it will enable them to put this stuff out there and really give the players a great way to experience these games, especially the hardcore audience, so that they don't just go, well, I'll just continue to play in MAME, but actually, pay for and support the games in a meaningful fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I could just hear somebody screaming at us right now. What about Nintendo? Nintendo does this all the time. They did this with the the mini console they did with the Game & Watch series that they did for the Zelda and Mario. And they did this with the Mario All-Stars. They continue to do this, right? You want to bump up our sales to look like we're prepared. Let's do a limited edition thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, people are thinking that the Mario Galaxy will probably be another one like that, but then they said no. But whenever they need something, just come out with a little gimmick, and there they go. People will buy it up.
Right.
Not saying that this is the same model that they're going with, but it's if you need to get a quick influx of cash, it's certainly a good way of doing it.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that it's successful, that it's sustainable, and that it is something that will continue.
Agreed. I can't wait till a little bit later in the year when Nintendo shows up something with Zelda and you say, "Shut up and take my rupees."
Yes, the rumored Ocarina of Time remake.
Yeah, but where's that Metroid Prime remake? I wonder if that was ever in there. Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I meant, the Metroid Prime trilogy, right? They did one.
Right.
They need to do 2 and
3.
3 event. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's excited to get another port of Other M, but we'll see.
Right.
Although they were supposed to be doing that. Weren't they supposed to be doing another one like the same company who did the Mercury Steam, the company that was, didn't they have to let go of the team or something happened to them recently? The one who did the 2D the Game Boy to 3DS remake.
Oh, yeah, Samus Returns.
Yeah, that company wasn't supposed to be doing something, but I heard that they got in financial trouble.
That's too bad.
Which is, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the game that we played for April of 2026. And the people who played it with us, they were Corkman77, Eat Electric Death, Skosh, Zerolux, DL Wraith, The Orange, Samsonite, STG, Master Who, Rin, Ihaz, Max, and Talkerbot.
I'm sorry. I just, when you said Samson, that made me immediately think of that Dumb and Dumber quote where he said, Samsonite, I was way off. My brother and his boss use that one pretty frequently, so that always makes me laugh. But yeah, we had a great crew playing alongside us this time.
Yeah, so the game that we played for the month of April was Mecha Ritz Steel Rondo. Brief intro to the developer and game, which some of it's taken from the Shmupilations interview. Mecha Ritz was developed by Yuki Shohei, and initially released a free game on the Japanese Freem website in 2015. It was developed using the free shooting game builder software. Inspiration for the game came from initial time spent with Desimon 2 on the Sega Saturn. The first builds of what become Mecha Ritz were created this way with limited art. After the initial free version release, an updated 1.5 version released in 2015 as well, sold on CDR Tokai. Tokayagi? Is that how you...
I think it's Tokaigi.
Tokayagi, huh. Oh boy. I could just see if I ever go to Japan, people are going to look at me really weird and say, this Yankee is nuts.
Filthy gaijin.
Oh, jeez. This version included more stages and some improvements and was sold alongside a CD soundtrack. Alvin of Hanaji Games contacted Hey and proposed a Steam release, which happened on May 18th, 2016. As a bonus, the Steam version includes both the current 2.0 release as well as the earlier 1.53 build. When launching the game from the Steam, you can choose whether to launch 1.53 or 2.0. The updated 2.0 version is when the Steel Rondo subtitles add to the game. When the process began to port the game to Switch, Hey did additional tuning of the gameplay and improvements that led to the current 2.0 version of the game. Hey was reluctant to release a 1.0 version on the Switch as it was. This update also includes a couple new ships that weren't in the previous releases. Nintendo Switch version of the game released on November 3rd, 2022, and Strictly Limited Games in association with Hanaji Games did double pack physical release of Mecha Ritz and Dystopia, the other commercially released game from Hey. As with several more recent SLG releases, this was heavily delayed. But did finally ship on December of 2025, despite pre-orders opening up on the site 3 years prior, December 22. Yes, and this just reminds me, I have this sitting in a box. That's what happens when I get these now. I'm like, oh yeah, I did order this, and I throw it inside a box.
Yep.
Because I've already bought or played the Steam release or something else. Oh boy. The design of this game's protagonist, Veloci, was done by Nana, who also did the graphics for the character as well as cutscenes and ending sequences. Hayes stated in a Shmupulation's interview they deliberately did not allow continues in the game to preserve the arcade feel. He initially used a Korg DS-10 on Nintendo DS to begin learning how to make music. Some of the compositions favored the basis for what would become the FM synth music within the game. I found that at a half-price book for like $18. So this is coming home with me. I was impressed by that.
Oh, cool.
So when you stop by, you too can try and make mosquito music with me. Alright, let's move on to the story. Set in a mechanized world, the story begins with a world-renowned young scientist named Veloise. One day she invented Mecha and eradicated humankind with her creation, recreating a metallic world filled with mechas. Pilot humanity's last hope, a mecha infused with human will through the onslaught of enemy waves. Yet as the tides of battles turn, the world reveals itself. Perhaps there's more than meets the eye. Oh no. No Transformers. With an FM soundtrack and distinctive visual design, Mecha Ritz Steel Rondo combines retro aesthetics with modern sensibilities. Wow, all this stuff tonight just reads like a housing, there. This house combines retro aesthetics with modern sensibilities. Located just 6 minutes from downtown. Along with the simple controls, handcrafted stages, and exciting unlockables, you will find yourself coming back for more. Yeah, this is the only game that was like, just give me wondering is like someone just tried a bunch of culinary stuff or just had some rejected Mega Man X boss names, like Blueberry Octopus.
Huh.
So it's definitely wild, and looking at the aesthetics of it, it really looks like it could have been done on a Speccy, right? A ZX Spectrum. Is it? But when you see how many bullets this thing does and the style it moves, I just don't see any other way they could have done it. If you were using your typical where the background changes the colors, I just think stuff would get lost on screen.
That's true. Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to the gameplay. Mecha Ritz is a 2-button game, though a third button function exists for convenience. One button fires a shot when tapped, and when held down, it activates each ship's alternate focus fire, which differs per craft. The other button deploys a bomb attack, which also differs for each ship. The optional third button is only used to skip story sequences within the game. Version 2.0 of the game adds a new feature that allows you to sacrifice bomb invincibility by holding the bomb button down after deploying one, which does a screen clear of all bullets.
I did not know this until I was putting the outline together. I wish I would have known this while we were playing the game, because that would have been very useful.
When a new game is started, you present with the initial selection of 3 ships, or mecha, A1 red, B1 blue, and C1 green. You also have the option of choosing a different bullet color to help with the screen contrast, as well as setting a starting rank. By default, this is set to 0. The higher the score rank, the harder the game becomes. Yes, the shmup roller coaster begins. As you play the game, you meet certain playtime thresholds. More mecha will unlock until you have at least 10 hours in the game, at which point all 14 units will be unlocked. The first 7 mecha are Type 1 variants, with the second set of 7 being the Type 2 variants, which tweak the Type 1 variants they're based upon. Original release only had 12 ships, and the 6 Type 1 and Type 6 Type 2 craft. The 7th E set was added for the 2.0 version. The mecha available in the game are as follows. The A1 Red Mecha has a standard widespread shot that covers a lot of ground when tapping. When in focus fire, you'll shoot out red waves that are much stronger than if you just tap shots. The bomb it drops is a large ball that moves upwards on the screen and generates a variable area of effect around it, which clears bullets along the way. It's a reasonably fast-paced ship. Unfocused, it prioritizes power over attack distance.
The B1 Blue Mecha shoots a stream of bullets straight in front of itself. Its focus is a medium-range beam that constantly fires in front of the craft like a sword, accompanied by a pair of homing shots that fire out at targets on the screen. The ship's bomb is a wide blue laser that clears bullets and damages enemies in its path. The laser's width dwindles over time, but continues to do damage. This ship is fairly powerful, but the limited width of its primary attack and shorter distance of its focused attack can make it harder to use. It's a bit faster than the A1 as well.
The C1 Green Mecha shoots out a twin shot that fans out minimally from the ship as your heat meter goes up. The mecha fires additional streams to widen its range. In focus, the twin shots fire quickly and sway back and forth. If you hold the fire button for a second or two so you can turn it up and release, you'll fire out a short-range spread of powerful projectiles. The ship's bomb is a large green circular emblem that expands and damages enemies while clearing a path. This is a slower ship, but focus speed is higher than some. It has good power and reasonable attack reach.
I saw a run with this ship that was done on, I think, the 1.53 version of the game, or maybe even an earlier version. The score was insane, but someone had set up auto fire on a button, and they did it in such a way that it allowed for bursts of the regular tap fire with also short bursts of the charge shot spread from the green ship. And whoever it was playing was just tearing through stuff. It was pretty cool to watch. The D1 Yellow Mecha fires a set of 3 double shots out from the front of the ship, with one set going straight forward and then the other 2 arcing out of kind of the side of the ship to create a wider attack. The focus creates a persistent laser in front of the ship, and then if you move right after that focus is active, then that spreads out somewhat and sort of stays in that position until you let go of the fire button. The bomb changes depending on whether you're in focused or not. If you're unfocused, your ship gets this sort of star-shaped blade in front of it that pulsates and protects you against enemy fire for a short time while damaging everything it touches. In focus, then your focus shot laser gets more powerful. The primary advantage of bombing while in focus with the D1 is you can still destroy target areas. You can still destroy target areas and get sweet bonuses, unlike other mecha. The ship is slower, but its focus speed is moderate. It's powerful, but can be difficult to use.
The E1 Purple Mecha fires a spread of purple lasers outward, each of which create a small bubble AoE. At the end of their trajectories, focus fire brings the lasers into narrow space and limits their forward range significantly, but they are more powerful. Activating a bomb will make the ship vulnerable for a short while still activating, allowing you to fire upon enemies. The purple mecha also has a secondary effect. Grazing bullets fill a meter at the top of the HUD. When the meter is full, all the on-screen bullets will be canceled and damage will be dealt to any on-screen foes.
This ship, I think, even though it can be a little harder to use, I think it's a bit of a dark horse. because with the bullet canceling and grazing, I really feel like if you learn the game well and you do it right, there's prime opportunity to not only get good with the ship, but also score really high. The F1 Aqua has the erasure gun at its disposal. Each shot fired will clear bullets in its path, and it's a powerful projectile in it itself. It's basically like almost like a large arrow icon that you might see firing forward. But it only fires one regular bullet at a time. If you're in focus, it'll fire a pair of orbs outward at 45 degrees from each side of the ship. And those will sort of bounce off of the proverbial walls and damage enemies and cancel bullets in their way. When you bomb, it's a large star-shaped projectile that shoots out about 3 ship lengths in front of you and sits and spins for a little bit. You can protect yourself by actually going into basically sitting where the bomb is and be protected from projectiles while the bomb is active. It's a reasonably fast ship, and its focus speed is the same as its normal speed. However, as powerful as it is, the low fire rate can make the ship quite difficult to use.
The G1 Glay mecha has a unique approach for tap fire. It shoots out based upon your companion or friend units that spawn near your ship based upon the movement and position. The mecha itself doesn't fire while tapping. You can spawn 6 total friends at once, and these units all take damage. Each will count down until destroyed, at which point a new friend will spawn in its place. In focus, your friends move around with you. Based upon your movement, they will also absorb more bullets in focus while your mecha fires out a double stream of shots in front of you. Your bomb is also a pair of shots that arc out from each side of the ship and fly forward, clearing projectiles in their path and damaging enemies. The power of your friends are relative to their HP. The higher the HP, the more powerful, so your shot dwindles as they get closer to expiring. It's a moderate speed ship, only minor speed penalty while in focus. So the G1 Glay is literally powered by the power of friendship.
Something like that, yeah. This is another one that I think is maybe a little bit of a dark horse. It's got a lot of possibility, but it can be difficult to use. And so I think this is another one where you really have to know the game relatively well in order to be effective with it. But the fact that you can block a lot of enemy fire means that you can really get up in the boss's faces and do some decent damage with it. The A2 Red Dash, which has become affectionately known in the Discord as Tangerine, this mecha has a similar tap shot to the R1, though it's a bit narrower in scope. Its focus, however, creates a large area of effect a short distance in front of the mecha that's sort of, I guess you could say, tethered to the mecha by a small stream of waves. This large area effect is a series of waves that are very powerful. And the tethering wave also shoots out beyond that area of effect to attack enemies outside its range. It's one of the most powerful mecha in the game because of this focus fire. The bomb drops in front of the ship about 3 to 4 lengths ahead and then stays there for a brief period while damaging enemies and blocking bullets. It's a fast ship while unfocused, though while focused it is pretty slow. I would say far and away this ship was the favorite from most players, and I think the most clears that we got during the month were with the A2 Red Dash or the Tangerine ship.
Tangerine Dreams. The B2 Blue Dash Mecha, like the B1, fires a number of straight shots from the front while tapping though a slightly narrow stream. Its focus beam doesn't reach as far as the B1 does, though it's a bit more powerful. While in focus, the ship will occasionally fire out a large orb that is powerful. Its movement will be opposite yours, meaning if you're moving right while it fires, it will arc out to the left of your ship and vice versa. The bomb is similar to B1, but again narrower. It's a moderate speed ship with an okay focus on speed. It's powerful, but a bit hard to use because of the limited range of focus and bomb.
Yeah, definitely harder to use than the B1. The C2 Green Dash Mecha is similar to the C1, but differs in a couple key ways. Regardless of your heat meter, the forward shot doesn't really get wider. Also, the focus doesn't shoot anything while you're charging, and it takes a lot longer to charge. However, once the charge shot is released, it fires out a straight line that does heavy damage and creates an area of effect around it as it dissipates. The bomb is nearly identical to the C1's, except that the circle doesn't get quite as large. This is one of the fastest ships, and even its focus speed is faster than the top speed of some of the other ships. Its powerful charge shot is a plus, but its otherwise weaker tap shot and shorter distance attacks combined with its high speed can make it harder to use, especially at high rank.
The D2 Yellow Dash Mecha has an odd combination. Its tap shot is relatively weak, but it's particularly homing. Its focus... but it's partially home, particularly. It's very peculiar on the way it homes. It stalks someone with a silly walk. No. The D2 Yellow Dash Mecha has an odd combination. Its tap shot is relatively weak, but it's partially homing. Its focus creates a field around the outside of the ship that slows bullets inside of it, making some patterns easier to navigate. While in focus, the ship emits a powerful attack on either side of the field. The directionality of these attacks are based upon the mecha's movement. While getting into focus, meaning it could be either left or right, or some angled movement. This translates to a lot of point blanking necessary to properly use the ship. The Ketsui maneuver.
Yeah.
Its bomb is similar to the D1, but after a short period of time, it shoots out from the ship like a large arrow, damaging stuff in its way and clearing bullets. It's the second fastest ship in the game, and focus movement is also very fast. It's a powerful mecha with a caveat. Its attacks are very close range, so one has to know the game really well to get the most out of it.
Yeah, a cool ship in theory, but pretty difficult to wrap your head around unless you are a point-blank kind of player. The E2 Purple Dash Mecha is similar to the E1, but its attacks are much shorter range. The tap shot travels a very short distance, equivalent to about 2 ship lengths, but it does create small bubbles as an area of effect to do further damage. Similarly, the focus does the same, though it's an even shorter distance, but with the same AoE bubbles. Like the E1, grazing bullets fills a meter that will clear bullets with the force attack that happens automatically when the meter is full. However, instead of going out in all directions, it's a bit more directed toward the direction from which the final bullet that filled the meter was traveling. It's one of the faster ships in the game and even has a pretty fast focus. Also similar to the E1, the bomb creates a temporarily invincible version of the mecha that's a bit more powerful than the normal one. Its power and bullet canceling are great assets, but short range can make it difficult to master.
The F2 Aqua Dash Mecha shares some traits with the F1 with some key differences. The tap shot is still one at a time, but the F2 standard projectiles are homing. These do clear bullets like those of the F1, but they also appear to work better at close range. The focus is the same as the F1, except for when focused, the mecha is unable to move. The bomb fires out a large orb and sits and blocks bullets while damaging whatever it's touching. It's a moderately fast ship during normal fire, but the fact that it locks in place during focus means its utility is limited.
Indeed. And finally, the G2 Glay Dash is a different take on the idea of the G1. Tap fire sends out your friend units in front of you, each creating an area of effect that damages enemies. Focus fire pauses the friends and simply fires out a short-range, three-way spread from the front of the ship. However, this spread cancels bullets in its orbit. It's not a powerful focus attack, but the bullet canceling makes it fairly viable for point blanking. The bomb is similar to the G1, just with a tighter forward focus. This is the fastest ship in the game and is barely slower in focus, so it can be a bit tougher to control, but the bullet canceling makes it an interesting balance. I messed with this one the other day, and I cleared, but it wasn't a what I'll call a good clear. And we can kind of talk about that as we go along.
All right. Just like Mark Zuckerberg, regardless of which mecha you choose, your pilot will always be named Ritz, who is a mecha imbued with the human soul.
Are you implying that Mark Zuckerberg is a mecha?
Just follow the strings and pictures on there. Follow the money. The HUD at the bottom of the screen details a lot about the game you play. The word left at the bottom of the screen on the top row of the HUD indicates how many lives you have in stock. Bomb indicates how many bombs you have available. If your mecha is destroyed, you lose any bombs above the default, which is 3. Bombs max out at 10. Shield indicates how many shield units you have accumulated. Your mecha doesn't start with any, but they can be earned over time. Mecha can carry a maximum of 5 shields. Heat indicates your mecha's power level, which determines your shot power, as well as whether or not you respawn with shields. The heat meter max at 5, and you go up to play with ranking increase. Taking multiple deaths will decrease heat. Time is the overall game timer. Rather than counting up, it counts down. In order to open different pathways in the game, you have a chance to fight the true last boss, or TLB. You don't need to reach the end stage without some time left on the count. Rank shows the current rank you're playing at. This will increase over time as you play, score, achieve bonuses, and collect resources. Taking hits or taking a death will decrease rank somewhat. Chain death will drop rank significantly. There are 3 different types of carriers you'll encounter throughout the stage, as well as prior to a TLB fight. A carrier must be shot to reveal what item it has, and it must be activated by shooting it to release the item itself. You don't have to collect the item by manually flying over the broken carrier. You simply receive it once you've broken the carrier itself. This got the first couple of playthroughs, I was wondering what the heck I was doing wrong until I realized you just had to shoot it.
Oh, yeah.
Carrier types are as follows. White carriers always carry a 1-up item. These appear in static positions twice in the game. Once early in stage 3 prior to the rush of large ships, and once in the lead up to the TLB fight. Green carriers will drop different score bonus items. Collecting these will give bonus points, but will also increase rank. Purple carriers will drop resource items. Blue items will give you a shield unit. Red items will give you a bomb, and blue items, which can only be obtained by shooting the carrier point blank to reveal the item, is a double item, which will give you both a bomb and a shield.
Yeah, that purple item is key for high level play for sure.
Yep. Always be using the Kitsui maneuver.
Yep.
The game plays out of 4 primary stages as well as the boss stage. The previously mentioned timer also helps determine the path available to you throughout the game. A stages are easier versions and will have enemy layouts and boss fights. Boss is unique to them. B stages are among the harder route with more enemies and denser bullets to deal with, but more score and opportunities as a result. The timer rounds down to 0 early on. You'll be locked to A route stages. You're only able to fight the FLB or fake loss. But that wasn't FLB. Sounds like a bad insult. Your mother was a hamster and your father was a FLB. This is a teddy bear owned and operated by TLB Veloci, who serves as the game's true last boss and is a primary antagonist. The TLB yourself has two different variants. Veloci 1 is the easier version and is considered the B route. TLB Veloci 2 is a harder variant in the C route. To achieve Veloci 2, you must reach the final stage with time left, and you must choose the Veloci 2 route. Beating Veloci 2 will net you the game's canonical best ending. The game's rank system plays a huge role in the level of difficulty, but also in what scoring opportunities will be available for you. You can choose your starting rank up on initial maximum, which increases as you continue to play, up to the game's maximum rank of 500. Thankfully it's not 9,000, so we don't have to make that joke. Rank 0 through 19 is considered easy. Rank 20 through 99 is labeled normal. Rank 100 through 199 is hard. Rank 200 through 299 is very hard. Rank 300 to 399 is master. And 400 above is called nightmare. Extends are available at 1 million, 3 million, 6 million, 10 million, and 15 million points. For those craving only survival play, many enemy bullets will disappear at some point as they travel down the screen. Most don't survive the whole distance, so hanging back in many spots can be a legitimate survival strategy.
Yeah, I was abusing that early on when I first started playing the game, just so that I could kind of learn and figure out what was going on. But once we get into talking scoring, you'll understand why that didn't last long. Moving into the graphics, the game has kind of a 16-bit pixel art style, looking like something that maybe could have been done on the Sega Genesis, and certainly the Super Nintendo, minus the bullet density. However, the color palette itself is limited. You kind of referenced the Specky before, but it uses a few primary and secondary colors and then different shades of each throughout. It feels like a deliberate design choice based on the overall feel of the game. The mecha have interesting and varied designs, with the aqua variants being the most unique. The purple ships bear a minor resemblance to the Radiant Silvergun craft. Now, one thing I noted that was odd is that I felt like visibility seemed to be slightly better in the 1.53 version than the 2.0 version due to some minor outlines around some enemies and bullets, but overall I would say visibility is fairly good. When things get really busy at high rank though, visibility can start to become an issue. One advantage to the visibility is that you have the ability to adjust bullet and blast colors. As you play the game, you'll unlock multiple colors to choose from. Bullets can be adjusted to one of 100 shades. All variations on the basic colors used for enemy and player craft. And then blast color, or explosions, can be set to one of 11 variations, with the final of those being a basically multicolor explosions instead of the other monochromatic versions. The art for Veloce and the interstitial scenes was done by composer Nana and is much different than the art Hay provided for everything else. It's very pastel and has a manga or anime look to it, but very unpolished, almost as if it was drawn by a child. It's unclear if this was an intentional art direction, but with the protagonist being a young girl, it kind of fits the overall story and feel of the experience. Hay's designs vary from simple mecha and flying craft to large, hulking bosses with multiple moving parts. Some of these are really basic and mechanistic, such as the tanks and the basic spaceship-type craft, to some that look much more organic in nature, as well as some that look like they could be large stone creations. Boss designs in particular can be quite detailed and interesting. Bullet patterns in the game can also be quite visually appealing, with several having a lot going on, and with some pattern layering, it can be overwhelming at times, especially at high rank. Changing the bullet color may help alleviate some of this, though, as with all of these types of things, your mileage may vary. And for those who have either color blindness or, color visibility issues, I would imagine that having those color change options is very much necessary. Talking briefly about the sound, most of the time that your attacks in the game have a muted sound to them, though some ships like the A1 and the A2 have a tap shot sound that's much more prominent. Focus attacks are mostly on the quiet side, but bombs almost all have a much more loud and dominant sound to them. Despite this, between shot sounds, enemy attacks, and explosions, and then the sound that you take when you get hit, the totality of the sound effects can be a lot to take in. The audible clue when you take a hit is a bit piercing, but it's effective in letting you know that your shield has been breached. Boss explosions have an interesting feel to them, almost like a liquid bubbling instead of crunchy, booming explosion. The soundtrack by Nana has a bit of a Genesis or Mega Drive feel to it, very much in line with late 80s and early 90s arcade FM synthesis sound. Compositions range from bouncy and catchy to high-energy tension to atmospheric and foreboding. It's a good mix that fits the action while not upstaging the gameplay itself. And now into scoring. The scoring in this game is what I would call broad and multifaceted. As with any shooter, destroy any and all enemies that come your way. But when enemies have a circular target on them with a 100 inside of it, that's a spot that you can target specifically. These can only be destroyed at closer range, but once you do, you earn a sweet bonus for doing so. The resulting explosion will cancel bullets, but it is important to note that is only in the 2.0 version. Sweet bonuses stack, so the more you rack up without taking any hits or dying, the higher they become to a maximum value. As soon as you take a death or a shield hit, the sweet value will reduce by 2 values. The actual sweet bonus values are based on your ship's heat value, and then each heat value or each heat level has a minimum and maximum sweet bonus score range. Those start at 100 points at the lowest heat level, and then they'll max out at 25,600 points at heat level 5. If you die, sweet value resets completely to the minimum. For each boss or mini-boss phase that you fight, you can earn an additional 100,000 points for achieving all sweet bonuses during that fight, as well as 10,000 points each for not bombing the boss or for a no-miss during a boss phase. If you manage to do both, no miss and no bomb, that's a 100,000 point bonus. Destroying the green score item carriers will yield different point totals based on your proximity to them when destroying the carrier. You'll either get a 2K, 5K, or 8K point item. Now you can also achieve a 12,000 point item, which is only available in 2.0 by point blanking the carrier. You'll get a 10,000 point bonus for each boss you defeat with time remaining, as well as a 100,000 point bonus for having time left when you're fighting the TLB. Each smaller enemy destroyed will have a multiplier based on how quickly you destroy it. The highest multiplier is the flashing grande, followed by the standard grande, then tall, then short. End stage bonuses are calculated as follows, and this is a lot, so go with me on this. The left total is the number of lives you have left plus 1, and then that multiplied by 50. Bomb is the number of bombs you have in stock times 10. Shield is the number of shields that you have times 20. And then the sum of all three of those factors makes up what's called the basis point. Your multiplier value is the current rank value plus the current time left. And then the clear bonus for a stage is the basis point times the multiplier. Version 2.0 adds a new all clear bonus to the game. And the formula for that is basically left squared times the result of total rank divided by a value that is calculated by doing time minus your EX stage and that value squared. All of that bracketed together times 50,000. So this total can increase your final score by more than 50% depending on how well you play. And I saw this in a run that I watched where the player ended up with something like 38 million. And it was, in fact, more than half of the final score or close to that. So the scoring in this game is approachable, but also complex because of the stacking sweet bonuses and the sort of quick kill with enemies and stuff like that. So it's almost like it's giving you the point blank bonuses of a Ketsui combined with the flash system of Raiden 3, 4, and 5, where the faster you kill enemies, the higher your multiplier is for doing so.
Thank you for reminding me that the scoring system was sponsored by Starbucks.
Yeah. Well, and that's something I didn't put in the notes, but the bosses and mid-bosses and mini-bosses in the game, they're almost all named after some kind of coffee, tea, or dessert. And so there are a lot of bosses in the game, and so there's way too many to name them all, but it's pretty interesting how it sort of goes along with the game's story, which we can touch on briefly, where, Veloce doesn't like coffee, she likes tea. And of course, with tea or with coffee, a lot of people like to eat some kind of sweet treat or dessert, which I assume is the impetus behind the name of the sweet bonus.
Okay, let's move on to thoughts from the RF Generation community. First thought comes from Corkman77. Sweet. Been meaning to crack open my copy. What rank are you guys starting at? I just hit and cleared the game. After then, I noticed the rank section at the ship selection screen, so I guess I have 1cc to rank 1. It's cool, it goes from 1 to 208. Anyway, here's my score at rank 1. Just playing for survival to understand the game. You get a lot of bombs and shield repairs in this game. Maybe it has to do with rank.
Indeed.
I say the game has got rank.
Eat Electric Death said, super cool game. It never goes on sale on Steam nowadays either. I got it for like €2 years ago, but when the 2.0 update dropped, they increased the price and it has never gone on sale since. Desotopia neither. Did anyone here ever get the Switch physical from SLG? Yes, we did. Some words of warning. The game doesn't have native auto fire, so you'd need to set it up externally if you want it. If you experience crashing on PC, use this fix. And EED linked to to a page on the Steam community forum. Later on, got the blue Veloce TLB clear. Also discovered that in training mode, you can turn off screen shake. The secret option menu doesn't show up for me in standard no matter which button I push. I'm playing 2.0 with the default keyboard controls, but seems that changing the settings in training also changes it for standard, so it's all good. Definitely dislike the screen shake, yeah. Again later, dang, Stage 4B boss goes crazy. Pretty much killed my 1cc attempt with the green ship, though I did still make it to Veloce. And then for final thoughts, unfortunately, I must agree with many of DL Wraith's complaints. The game has such incredible style, so many fun ideas and creativity, but it's undermined by the weird idiosyncrasies and inconsistencies of its design. particularly the game wanting you to fight up close and then hitting you with what feels like cheap gotcha, fast bullets and enemies. Compared to how well Devil Blade Reboot does this, same mechanic, though Devil Blade Reboot is a much easier and simpler game in my opinion. Also, some weirdly amateurish stuff, like no native auto-fire, high score list lacking basic information, and the issues that the PC version has. Still, I intend to keep playing more. I want to at least 1cc the game with all ships and beat Veloce 2.
Skosh says, guess this game is never going to go on sale on Switch. Been on my wish list forever, it seems. Well, this is a great excuse to bite the bullet and dive in. I think I played a bit back on PC now I'm looking at. It seemed to be the tradition this year. I've started early. That's a good tradition. Had a run starting on 000 rank and made it through what's assume it is a pants score. I tried running on rank 20 and made it again with slightly better, but still pants score. Lots of resources make survival at least up to rank 20 very straightforward. Not sure what the CBP or the V-Clear matters early. Differences are either. I'll be interested to see whether going from big to start like rank 150 plus and again knocked down to more conservative rank 20-ish, or working up is better for scoring. I've been giving the Steam version a go with autofire using Joy to Key, so I can have both full auto and focus on different buttons. I like this way the first 3 ships at least. I'm still figuring out the scoring and game flow cleared with these 3 starting at rank 20. Also found a hidden menu, press bomb on the ship select screen, lets you toggle screen shake and slow down. Apologize if I missed this before and I'm repeating information. The orange ship, Theo Orange, is excellent. Especially if playing on Switch with good autofire options. As the orange said earlier, it just hoovers out specials and dishes out damage using the focus shot. I think that is something we need on a shirt. Do you even rank, bro? And hoovers up specials and dishes out damage. The movement speed is just about quick enough to avoid stuff and maneuver around. Had a few runs with it now and managing to score a bit better. Had a run of 15 million and then straight after a 20 million run. Not even entirely sure I did differently. Still pushing the orange hoover. The orange hoover. The orange hoover. Alright. Yellow ship is powerful, but struggles with the later stages. The beam is kind of wild too. Gonna try and finish off with the other 3 ships on Route B. Finished scratching the itch last night and all my Type 1 ships on Route B with TLB Type B2 done. GG. Starting rank 20, finished all kinds of different ranks. Survival for all these is pretty straightforward, as we're all finding out. Just wanted to get this out of my system before trying to score. Might as well have to do Type 2 ships first. It's a blue 2 kind of day today, though it's been looking decidedly purple here. 12th was a clear after missing out on the 13th run. Kind of figured out the shield around your ship can do damage and isn't a shield for the yellow 2 ship this morning. That's 2 ships done on this B route apart from Glade 2 now. And still can't beat orange for scoring, but some of the other colors have been fun too. Gotta say, the way the game makes you play is really weird. It's very imprecise. I can't think of a shmup where I guessed what I'm doing more. Kind of like bobbing around and hoping for the best. Kind of reminds me of these Radigi Milestone games in that respect. That is my official tactics in shmup. Bob around and hope for the best.
Bob around.
Bobbing around. No, had a good day out with the Glade 2. Closed to 20 million and then realized I'd not recorded a run with Red 2, so I gave it another shot. Both B routes with Velocity 1. That's my highest score so far. Very interesting to read everyone's thoughts so far. Glad you gave it an extra push, Zero Lux. And I can't quite put my finger on why I played so much this game. Maybe as a fact it was pretty straightforward to clear. Lots of resources, fun trying to get those sweet bonus. Time seemed to fly by too, and I was choosing the flavor of TLB before I knew it. All very entertaining. Not just sure how else to put it. That said, there was plenty that didn't sit well. The overall gameplay either felt too slippery or sloppy or just sticky at times, and I wasn't sure which one it would be. The hit detection hitbox often fell off, making micro-dodging pretty much RNG. It's whether you get hit or not. Rank was interesting. It was one of those... Out there, it became one of those games with the biggest challenge in terms of progress and practice. There's almost too much to digest with all the ships, options, routes, but I like the fact that the dodging game was so ambitious. I guess overall I like the lo-fi kind of dry nature game. It is what it is, take it or leave it. Kind of janky, overreaching, but with charm. Even though it's not one of my favorites, I found it very enduring. I think keep talking back to see how it's been doing there. Yeah, a lot going on. Very well said, and GG for the clears.
Yeah. Zerolux said, this is actually one of the few shmups still on my wish list. Buying it digitally now. Flirted with physical, but didn't pull the trigger. Went with Steam. Later on, so this is the first time I've ever been ahead of the game for a Shmup Club game. I just uploaded my 1cc with commentary. Is it cool to post here? Always. Always cool. I tried 2 B routes last night with the sea ship. I got to Folose both times and died on what I believe to be her final phase. I was very close. The sea ship has a hold down to charge and then release. Totally changes the game. Then I did a throwaway run with the Gray's ship. Again, it feels like a totally different game. Again later, I started experimenting with bullet color too since I have some color deficiency. I switched to yellow. It seems to work for my eyeballs. After, I think 5 attempts, I just got my first Velocity clear, B2 blue. I really like her fight. And then another later post relating to the auto fire question. Now I remember, I'm using this Steam option. But here's the secret cool thing I found. I was having issues with the rapid fire, so I made the Z key the rapid fire button and the A button the regular shot. It's a problem if you use the same button for both, but treats them differently if they are 2 buttons. Maybe it's not so secret, but it felt cool for me to figure it out. Later on, just got my highest score clear with B1. Left a lot of points behind. Does anyone have a favorite music track yet? I think mine is currently 2A. And then for final thoughts, I reached most of my goals this month. I ended up with a bunch of Veloce 1 clears and broke 10 million. Scotia inspired me to strive to double that. And I still need to spend time to get a Veloce 2 clear. So much value in this game. Every ship changes the game. So much depth here with the routes, bosses, and scoring. Big value for a shmup. I had a blast. Probably the most engaged I've been with a shmup of the month here. And thank you to everyone here for making it a fun and active experience.
Thank you. DL Wraith says, looks like this month will have a strong turnout. Looking at the trailers for it, I have no chance competing with you lot on this one, but I'll be nipping at your heels the best I can do regardless. My goal is to have fun with this one. I've just seen a playthrough of the first 2 stages, and I'm definitely getting bodied by this one. I may be leaning hard on other strats for this one. Wear some long coattails when playing this game and something to hang on to. After a bit of searching, I believe the following may help. Reaching final stage before your timer reaches 0 gets you the TLB. Defeating TLB unlocks the B routes. Mecha ships variants unlock over time. Final ship is unlocked at 10 hours of play. CBP training time also counts towards this. Okay, I've started dipping this one after dismal couple days on Natsuki Chronicles. Oh, hopefully you found Margot. And clear on my first run with the red ship. Not good scoring. I want to learn with systems on the fly. I did not enjoy the majority of that run at all. Bosses bum rushing you or blasting without no warning felt a bit cheap, especially in proc-based scoring game. Tap firing hurts like heck, very much a me issue, but the hurtbox and interactions felt inconsistent at times, and levels feel samey. That said, some of the boss encounters, especially the teddy bear, were great. The sound effects at the end of each level remind me a paranoid, and I like wireframe graphics for the sprites. Overall, it just made me want to play Bullet Hell Monday or danmaku Unlimited 3, though. And when the game makes you pine for a different game that hard, you either miss a point or this game really isn't for you. I appreciate what this guy was trying to do, and one go is never enough, so back into the fray I go. I hope this one grows on me. There seems to be a lot to like here. Second round, second clear. Auto fire helps. Yes, it does. 2 million improvement. I still think the Teddy fight with the giant gold vase and are great boss fights. On another note, I appreciate that Steam allows you to set turbo fire repeat rate. I was able to match my usual button mashing rate, typically 8.5 to 8.9 per second for me. Exactly, so auto fire felt more natural. It does put a delay on switching back to focus fire, but to save my hands, it's a price I'm willing to pay. Gonna take a nap and go again. Oh, dude, you get to take a nap? I'm jealous. I'm interested enough to want to love this, so I'll keep at it. For those of you looking for good auto fire and Steam input, set your repeat rate between 125 and 110. That works great for blue and red chips. I've been messing with green chip and B routes. Got a score improvement even without the clear. 9.3 mil. Holy crackers. The B routes are so much more difficult. 3 billion busted my rank from 180 back to 24 rapidly. Okay, we're over the 10 mil barrier. I just have to say the voice work on the Velocity fight is nice. Add a touch of angst to that encounter. Teal, the F1 Aqua ship, is tough. It shreds 2B and 4A stages thanks to its piercing style shot, but staying on time for some of these boss fights is such a struggle. At least it was for me. There's a lot to uncover in this game. Dang it! Beaten on 5C by Velocity 2's final phase, 11.1 mil. I may have found the ship that works for me, C1 Green. Not to be confused with CeeLo Green. Feels a little something like...
or Austin Powers, right-hand green.
Oh, jeez. Feels a little bit something like Velocity would have made after reading about someone playing R-Type 3. A2 Red Tangerine is a sweet spot, shredding beast. I can see why the orange likes it so much. Makes the Velocity fight almost trivial. 12.7 mils. Scores are rising. B2 Blue Purple shreds sweet spots as well, and is very good at as fast chewing through the waves at distance, also side to side shot capability. It's not as good as either Red Chip or A4 or on B4 stages lead to lost score potential. A2 requires you to be mid to close, so you're hitting grandes more often. I wasn't even trying to score with it, but it still came on top to score for me. C2 Other Green is fast. Its charge beam is a devastating sniper shot. I may need to try a run with that later. It may be a touch too nippy though. This game seems to want to punish you for macro dodging every pattern. I'm struggling to keep up, but still plugging away well and I can. I've lost a lot of mobility on my right hand, making rank 100 plus runs on this slug. Schmupper's excuses, eh? I'm gonna have to do something on there now. He's got me going for Schmupper's Choice product endorsements. Drop to rank 60, unlock ships up to yellow 2, improve my score by another 2 million on Velocity killing using red 2. I doubt I'll see 20 mil, but 60 mil may be possible for me. I'll push on. I've been earning at 101 through 120. Stage 1 is beastly. After that, it instantly dropped to 80 by stage 4. 20 or so at stage 5 if I'm B running. I don't bomb enough by miles. I lose loads and loads of resources, take hits and distance it because I'm so stupid. No, you're not. I still hit. I can't tell what parts of bosses I can and can't touch. Don't touch the sparkly bits. In related news, my regular Call of Duty sessions to me evolved into me being an Uber driver for Spectre 1. It's about all I'm capable of for now. I would pay money for that. Call of Duty Uber driver expansion. Call of Duty modern Uber driver.
Oh man.
Let's go for it. I have to think that Scotian Think like Scotian start a little gentler. It's been straining against the rank, but ultimately missing early bonuses and waves because Dodgerama was the order of the moment. I figured starting the gentler part of my 100 rank maybe get better scoring without being too hard. Look at Master Who's comments. I may be lowering this. Better lowering this. Also, Kara is the best weapon when dealing with checkpoints. Beep, beep. Kara is what I need in Mecha Ritz. I really struggled to like this one. Its style and sound, ship riding goofy bosses should have been right up my street. But this game seemed to fight me at every corner through April. If I was at full health, maybe I would have enough to play and get under its skin more. But as it was, the game's bipolar art style, illogical story, and some gameplay elements just kept annoying me. This game's high spots, the neon style with the graphics, no 2010s bloom, yay! Was easy to see and a great stylistic change from the more modern norm. The 8-bit soundtrack and sound effects were evocative. Some boss battles were really entertaining, causing you to think and work hard without ever feeling impossible. The ship variety encouraged other playstyles and adventurous. And lastly, the survivability, generosity of the game's resource management and acquisition. In the not-so-good camp for me were the dynamic choosable rank. It doesn't work as well as, say, Angel at Dusk and is functionally a distraction. The curve is a little odd and higher difficulties feel easier than some lower ranks. Try 199 versus 201 to see what I mean. I'd have rather to fix this difficulty for this title. Also, a not-so-good camp was the screen shake. Having similar effects for destroying sweet spots and taking a hit was confusing and distracting. I could never get my screen shake off like other players did. Lastly, for the not so good for me was a point-blank scoring system. Oh, the Katsui maneuvers. Early on, the game tries to teach you point-blank for score and resources, but as rank rises, it becomes all but impossible having your rank reset by stray hits. Enemies rush in, immediately open fire, even at middling ranks, make you fly back for safety. The push-pull to get score, stay safe loop here should be a nice balance. But between the game's dynamic difficulty shenanigans, they say, you shenan once, you shenan again. And the vastly different capabilities of the ships, encouraging different playstyles. This game tells you to tell it point blank, and its runtime discouraging you from doing it. Maybe that's a skill issue for me. I don't know. The killers for me were twofold. The lack of clarity of the boss fights what you could and couldn't touch. And the bosses ramming you with no telegraphing at all. I hate this. It's cheap, kill space, score, rank, and my overall mood. Overall, I enjoy my time with this game, but it was a fight to do so. My thanks to players in Discord encouraged me to play more, but once I cleared with the final two ships, this one goes back in the cupboard and never to be played again. I have to say, I really appreciate you trying this out, and even if it wasn't something that you don't enjoy and you're putting back in the cupboard with the Indian, it definitely is something that evoked a strong response from you, and you know that you don't like it, so I appreciate you braving it and trying it out. As we're doing this, it sort of reminds me of my own experience with this. This game is the proverbial game held together by duct tape. You can see the seams, you can see the stuff, but somehow, for the most part, it works. But when the duct tape starts peeling, boy, does it start peeling.
Yeah.
So, we'll go more on that later.
The Orange joined in and said, been on my wish list for a while now, and picked up the Humble deal on it just now. Looks like the perfect game to get back to shmupping with. Been mostly playing other genres as of late. It's definitely a scoring game, and very lenient with resources. Later on, also did a couple runs early, and I think I pretty much got the hang of basic scoring. So 1, the popcorn has 3 possible values, grande, tall, and short, grande being the best. I think this is proximity based, so you gotta get in close to get the grandes. And then 2, there are the sweets. Those are the nodes hidden around levels and also on bosses with 100 on them, which is basically their HP. They are how you chain in the game, so their values go up the more you take them out consecutively without getting hit. You also get the perfect sweets bonus if you destroy all the sweets off a boss before destroying it. Then 3, there's the rank multiplier. After a stage, you get a score multiplier based on your rank. Rank gets reset to 0 if you take a death. There's also no miss and no bomb bonuses for bosses, but these are static 10k, I believe, so not much to be gained there. And then there's time bonuses for bosses, which can be significant, but perfect sweets should still be a priority. The way you take out sweets from bosses can vary wildly by ship when it comes to strats. I used the orange ship, wow me, orange? that I apparently unlocked from previous runs for my highest scoring run so far. It's kind of hidden in the menu, but there's a whole other roster of ships if you scroll past the default roster. That ship had a crazy vacuum cleaner focus shot that melts sweets right out of bosses, so I recommend that. You need to get up close to the bosses to effectively use it though. So to score, you have to chain the sweets, get perfect sweets, and preferably not take deaths. Bomb and shield don't chip away rank too much, so they are always preferred to losing a ship. My highest score was a totally reckless kamikaze run, where I just focused on the sweets and lost just about all my resources, so my rank multiplier was pretty much 0. If you play well and get the sweets and perfect bonuses, you can score much higher. Later on, apparently I got the TLB then because I got B routes. I've had 2 different final bosses. One was the chick and the other a teddy bear. I don't know, man. I just shot everything that got on screen. The game seems to have fun design, where survival gameplay doesn't really exist without scoring, and vice versa. If you just sit back and play conservatively, you will get a clear, but there's no significant survival aspect because the game gives you lives and shields out the wazoo. You can actually see how some of even the most dense boss patterns dissipate toward the bottom of the screen, so they can be avoided by just hanging back. To get the most out of the game, it wants you to get into the thick of it and engage with scoring. Some later observations. Dying doesn't reset rank, at least in higher ranks, but it cuts it at least to half or something like that. The cap value of the sweets chain increases by magnitudes with rank, which is huge in terms of scoring. Also, sometimes the no miss, no bomb bonuses are 10k, sometimes 100k? I have a hard time reading all the zeros sometimes. Also, the grandes come with speed killing the popcorn apparently, not proximity. But proximity is a factor in getting the sweets. Some score progress. Second highest was an A route all clear, and highest was a B route to Veloce C clear. Again, me just vacuuming away in my orange ship, which I identify with immensely. Might put up videos, but maybe only after April's begun because there's a lot of spoilers. But slowly inching towards 20 mil. I have no idea what kind of score is possible. Tried Googling the world record, but no luck on a reliable answer. But I feel like I'm still making a ton of mistakes, so there's a lot of potential to improve. Looks like the highest selectable initial rank is 436, which is in the nightmare range. Tried it just now, it's pretty fast. The highest chain value must be in the hundreds of thousands, if not in the millions at that rank, but the problem is getting the chain when the game just kills you. By the end of stage 1, rank had dropped to 300, and then before the end of stage 2, I was dead. Maybe I'll stick to rank 70 for now. Later on, I tried the Gray 1 ship yesterday, by the way, the one that shoots out options. You get a massive amount of little satellites that have a directional regular shot and a focus that lets you hold them in formation, any formation you've maneuvered them into. You can use them as a shield because they cancel bullets, and you can also hold them out to effectively take out sweets, etc. There's potential in that ship to be pretty amazing if used skillfully. On autofire, if you're scoring the game, with most ships there's rarely a situation where firing main shot full auto is the optimal thing to do. Sometimes enemies carry sweets, and if you blast the enemy all the way from the bottom of the screen, those sweets will be gone, as taking out the sweets has a proximity requirement. Also, some ships have a main shot that behaves differently when you use a different type of button press. For example, the orange ship fires ultra wide shot when you tap, but if you push the button a while and release, it will kind of create an inwards sweeping shot type as the shot is transitioning into the focus mode. So autofire might not be the definitive solution with all the ships. With some, it will certainly be of use. I might be the odd one out here, but I feel like the game doesn't need autofire for main shot. I don't get to a point where I need to mash the shot button at all. Only gentle tapping while I'm macroing, and that's it. Might not be the case with all ships though, but it's quite doable. It's a quite doable game as is. And then later on, 10 hours of game time apparently unlocks all the ships. Yeah, Gray is a bit of a fiddle around type of ship. Secondary freezes the options in position so you can try to maneuver them in position and then freezing them to get sweets and block bullets, etc. With the gray ship orbs. I feel like I feel like at spawn they just plop out in front of your ship, but then moving your ship around can somewhat affect their position. When they're spawned, you can shoot their guns using primary shot, and then you can aim while firing by moving the stick, which also moves your ship. I don't fully have it down either, but it's fun to experiment on. And then again later, in reference to the Tangerine ship, I'm frankly a bit bummed out about the fact that I don't really want to get into all the other ships in a serious way. Maybe the Tangerine powerhouse just needs to be nerfed. Maybe lower the damage output a tiny bit or make the hoovering radius a bit smaller. Oh, and by the way, I just realized yesterday what the hoovering animation is supposed to be. It's that kind of barista milk frother thingy, since everything is coffee or cafe themed in some way. But hereby I take on the challenge of getting a B clear with all the ships this month. That way I have to experience them all. Okay, here goes, 1 ship per day. I'll try to clear with all of them and give my observations on at least one cool thing you can do with them. This was a full B routes to standard Veloce. Didn't let me pick the alternate again. To TLB, all clear with the green ship. Score was a bit potatoes, but hey. With this one, load up the focus shot by holding the button. Wait until the sound effect peaks, release the button, and enjoy melting the bosses with like 2 shots. Later on, managed to get some kind of clear with Yellow 2, B stages into Teddy Bear, because I timed out. Man, does this ship suck. On paper, it's not too bad. Narrow shot with a bit of homing, plus a focus shot that creates a ring around the ship that slows down bullets and does damage in 2 directions. Reality? Bad. A real pea shooter and lacks proper slow movement even in focus mode, so you keep slamming into bullets if you dare to try and micrododge. Imagine micrododging into a bullet hell game, right? I mean, who's gonna need that? Let's just make the ship oily and slippery. If anyone does need any serious scoring with Yellow 2, I'll buy you a figurative beer. Or an actual one if you come to Finland. There's so many sweets in the game, and some are in more lucrative formations for big scoring. For example, the rolling circle on one of the B stages. If you can take those spots at high rank, max value, that's always a huge bonus. Usually in chaining games, there's not so many chaining items as here, and sometimes it feels like you can't even really get all of them. Have to prioritize risks and route accordingly. This game feels very flaily and all over the place sometimes. Again later, all B routes into Teddy Bear cleared with the purple 1 ship. I keep teddy bearing all these other ships except Tangerine because I take so long in boss fights trying to get the sweets. That locks me out of additional scoring opportunities though, so maybe the strat is to be speedy in the main bosses and just grab the low-hanging sweets, then capitalize fully on Veloce 2. And for final thoughts, was going to try for a desperate crack at 20 mil before the end of April, but got so sick that I couldn't play. So the 17.5 mil-ish I did near the beginning of April remains my best score. The game is interesting. It's fun in the most Dojin way possible. Story is big weird animu, mechanics are obscure, music is good but also a bit jarring in the long run. I was put off by some things though. For example, the lack of an online leaderboard, and perhaps some more detailed leaderboard entries that show whether or not you cleared, which stage you game overed at, etc. Also, the rank system seems particularly redundant. The game doesn't benefit from having rank 0 through 500 at all. The rank scale could have been a lot more narrow and nothing would have changed. Also, there's no way of really efficiently learning how to play on high rank because the game busts rank down so hard upon dying. Starting rank at 500 feels more like a meme than something you would or could meaningfully work towards. So yeah, I had my fun and cleared with most of the ships on offer. Still, I don't think I'll be coming back to this one. Disclaimer, these are just my opinions. If you absolutely love everything about the game and found a long-term favorite shmup in Mecha Ritz, that view is also completely valid, and I'm happy for you.
Samsonite STG or Luggage STG says, here's my first... Samsonite's good luggage. Here's my first complete game run. Started at rank 58. Like Zero Lux said in his video, the most important thing in this game is resource collection, even more so than dodging. It gave me tons of issues on my PC too. That's one of the reasons I didn't return to it. Much half the time I'm just troubleshooting and messing with options that by the time I get to play don't feel like anymore. There are fixes and discussions on the Steam board, that's how I got it running better. I think it's like adding an INI file or adding an extension or who knows. I'm sorry you had so much trouble with that.
Yeah, I'll speak to that a little bit more in my final thoughts, but yeah, the PC version definitely has some issues.
That's one of the things that you hate to see because Steam prides itself on being the place to go to where stuff just works, right? And to have something where it doesn't is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
I have run into a couple games like, what the heck is going on? Why can't I launch this game? And realize, oh, it's because I don't have the Ubisoft launcher or the EA Play. EA launcher hasn't logged me in. Or the popcorn maker is running, so therefore it's not working. Or just lots of random stuff that could happen from there. And I get why that has, but sometimes it just feels like a weird case of Inception before you finally start figuring out what the heck happened and moving on.
Yeah. Master Who said, thanks to Zerolux, I'll be jumping in this month. Excited to try this one out. And then later, got a Veloce clear with the blue ship. Gotta keep unlocking stuff and go for scoring. Again later, I had a lot of fun playing the purple ship that cancels bullets if you graze enough. Had a pretty low scoring run with it though. Maybe I need to focus more on survival and the scoring will naturally follow suit. Again later, went into Veloce B with 500 rank and ended up clearing at a monstrous 415 rank. Oof. Didn't do a lot for my score other than set up for some impossible to dodge patterns that you have to tank the hits. I was hoping with 4 extra lives and a huge rank that the endgame bonus would skyrocket, but 3.25 mil was lower than I expected. It is absolutely nuts. Being more mindful to pick up double power-ups and bombing freely meant that my run's rank rarely dropped, even though I started at a measly 20. I'm not sure I like playing this game at that high of a rank. There are sections that you simply must bomb to get through, and it turns into a really heavy resource management game. And then again later, flaily is how I describe it too. My least favorite things so far are taking too many hits from bosses ramming into you with limbs or their bodies, and the super fastball lightning quick blitzing bullets. Chaining suites can be really tough when taking stray hits from those two things. Yes, indeed.
Rin says, when I opened up the game, I got the options menu as choice select between playing Mecha Ritz, Steel Rondo, Mecha Ritz, Steel Rondo 1.53, and in config. Is there a difference between the first two options? Weird, just can't seem to get Steam modifier working. Tried low and high frequency, but no luck. Probably a me issue. Same. One of the reasons I love shmups is that at least at entry level where I am, it's much easier on my hands than on fighting games, beat 'em ups, platformers, or just even typing. But this is only true if I use some type of auto fire. This game is insanely generous with the shields and lives. How does one go about picking routes? When I first played the game, I played through all of the cutscenes. I think I ended up choosing my route. But if I skip the cutscenes, I'm not sure how to select a route. The songs in the game are weirdly catchy. Bad news, the game stopped working. Good news, worked out. It has native Linux support, so it's working fine now. Bad news, then lost my save. I'm sorry. After a couple of runs on the new save file, I think I may have run into some sort of weird glitch on my very first run. I just wouldn't die despite running on 0 lives and 0 shields for ages. The game put me up against a true last boss on that first run. From research, it seemed like this is a known glitch. Wild. Some of the duct tape came off. So yesterday, I was apparently green 2 by mistake and did this green 1, all B routes to Veloce and TLB clear. Starting all is at rank 70. Noticeably better score with this one. Same idea as green 2, but this one charges up a wider, slower blob that does tons of damage. Also, main shot is more useful. Today I cleared Old Yeller. Oh, hopefully you didn't shoot it. Went all B routes and actually timed out on boss. Got the Teddy fight again. This ship I can't play at all. Main shot is good as long as the heat meter stays high, but the heat goes down too low, it becomes a pea shooter, which in turn keeps heat low and becomes a snowball of crap. I'm gonna have to steal that phrase, a snowball of crap. The ship's mom also sticks a little spoon of sorts out of the ship so you can prod stuff with it for damage. Anybody else repping any colors today? I don't like the screen shake. The screen shake in general, most anyways. It's really disorientating in this game because it's used to indicate collisions and for other effects. Really a much better experience without screen shake. Switching to the no shake mode worked in regular mode for me. Oh yes, gotta be careful. Yuku troublemakers. Watch out for that game. That game is nothing but shake.
My screen shake brings all the boys to the yard. Please don't sing this song. Alright, no, I got Veloce first run, but my first run was glitched and I couldn't die on my first run. On my last shield, I just kept respawning. It's really weird and only something I realized later to get more familiar with the game. I lost my initial save for some reason after switching from Proton to native Linux versions of the game, so this is lost to time. However, there are document cases of this glitch happening though. I uploaded my 1cc route, a run on purple. It was my third best scoring run, but more interesting run to upload, and it wasn't massive difference in score for the other 2 runs. GG for you for finding new and creative ways to glitch and have fun. Just think how wild it is if you booted up the game for the first time and you made it through to the end of the game, but you couldn't die due to a glitch. Yeah. iHuz says, LOL, thought I just got my first clear of this month's game, Desitopia. Then I hopped on and saw it's Mecha Ritz. After playing through Dezo, I think I prefer Mecha Ritz, which I've played before. Let me go play a run of Mecha Ritz and return. I've got the physical with them both, and I'm using that as my excuse for my confusion. Got my Mecha Ritz clear with the first ship. I forgot this game is pretty fun. My biggest issue with it, as far as I could see, there's no way to map a second button to be auto fire. So you need to button mash to get your ship's auto fire attack. Which led me to mainly using the focus shot. But yeah, now that I've played it, it's bringing back memories of when I first played it a few years ago. I've gotten a handful of clears with some different ships, and I think this shmup, more than any other, wants you to 1cc it badly. The survival difficulty isn't too bad in my opinion. You can get the rank cranked up pretty good, and things will get spicy. But just as soon as you die, zoom, the rank drops so far. And you get so many resources. Just shield after shield, bombs upon bombs. I'm not voicing this as a complaint though, because the game is still fun. but it gives this rubber banding effect that I felt in other shmups. That I don't know that I felt in other shmups.
Max says, really like this game. It's pretty forgiving, giving you a lot of hit points. Almost feels like the game wants you to experience the story without grinding for weeks. I think I'm more of a vertical bullet hell in Toho enjoyer, which is why Natsuki Chronicles really isn't a personal favorite of mine. But Mecha Ritz, Steel Rondo, oh man, I love it. I want to try out every ship I've already 1cc with the red, blue, purple, and yellow ship. All of a sudden, I don't know why, but it tastes the rainbows. Pot to my head.
Mecha Ritz, taste the rainbow.
The rainbow.
Shmup the rainbow.
Shmup the rainbow. Oh boy. My current high score is 9,177,432 with the blue ship. I felt like the 4B track hypes me the most, but 5B and 5C have been awesome as well. Today I got to 5C for the first time, felt unbeatably to me personally. I use a green 2 ship, which does a lot of damage. If you can get close, the amount of bullets are just too overwhelming. After that, I had my second red 2 run, which is a yellow ship. Red 2 is so fun, using its vacuum cleaner like Power Beam to clean up the screen. Feels as satisfying as playing Power Wash Simulator. Oh, that was another reason why I didn't play TFK. Because the DLC was expiring, I bought Power Wash Simulator, so I sort of got stuck on that too. I went through 2B, or not 2B, 3B, 4B, and 5B and achieved a new personal record of 15,937,170 points with it. Very nice. It's been a fun month. I never played Mecha Ritz Steel Rondo before, and it's definitely been way more fun than I expected. Especially the ship variety surprised me. I enjoyed the option to choose between the stages as well as the amount of ideas in each stage, but I didn't read the story fragments. So if you told me a story about a guy rediscovering his passion for expressive dancing, I might believe you. Sadly, the 5C boss got me, so I'll have to come back in the future when I'm going into better shmupper. But until then, I'm happy with my overall scores. Thank you everyone for being part of this. The Shmup Club is a great concept. It really motivates me to enjoy this as my favorite game genre. This, again, is why we do it, because not everybody's going to enjoy it, and that is absolutely fine, but then you find someone who absolutely loves it who never tried it before.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, right? It's about getting people to try different games, see what sticks, see what doesn't, find out why, and just enjoy playing the games and talking about them together. So thank you very much for that.
Yep. Talkerbot joined and said, I am about to jump into the game. Is there any common agreement on which ships are best for survival? Boy, howdy is there. Today I set initial rank to 30 instead of 20. I also think I played better, so my highest rank was around 160. At this point, things got pretty wild, and I lost track of where I was on the screen. I managed to get to the last boss with the green ship, but I couldn't beat her. I need to play this game on a bigger screen instead of on my Steam Deck. Are the B routes considered the harder ones? So far, I've stuck to A routes whenever possible.
Desolus says, alright, top 3 here are clears. B routes on all. I got to see 5C on the orange run. This game is maniac. At first it put me a little off. I kept feeling like there should be some more telegraphing. If you're not careful, you can get an entire bullet wave spawn right on top of you in a few spots. I'm not a fan of the screen shake either. I'm warming up to the game though. Too much DOJ had me stuck in a certain mode of expectation. Instead of meeting it this where it is. The bullet canceling off of sweets was pretty fun. It is a solid defense mechanism, but tricky to time well. The music is certainly head bob worthy too. All I could think of is that cat, the cat gif or gif from
oh, with the head
Discord.
bobbing cat.
The head bobbing cat, yeah.
Yep. And then finally, Goji Guy said, late to the game, but gave this a few runs while I was flying back from a work trip. Certainly less innovative than Desitopia, but it makes sense since it's a remaster of their original game. I quite enjoy it. Patterns are fun to dodge and the various ships are neat. I'm hoping to upload my runs. Got a few blind 1cc's, but one of them ended up with a teddy bear fight that timed out, so I think I lost that run? Well, in any event, thank you to everyone who participated. We had an excellent month of discussion in the Discord, a lot of great commentary and back and forth, people commenting and really digging into this game. I understand that it wasn't for everyone, and people were some people were less enthused with it, but overall I think it was a very strong month, and certainly one that we got a lot of participation and a lot of response. Going over the high scores real quick, Skosh was at the top of the leaderboard with 21,992,894 using the Tangerine. I ended up in second place somehow with 18,295,241 with Tangerine. The Orange was right on my heels with 17,554,029 points, also with Tangerine. Master Who broke the streak a little bit with 16,056,882 points using the Green 2 ship. Then Desolus came in with 16,002,823 points, again with Tangerine. Max with the aforementioned 15,937,170 points with Tangerine. And then DL Wraith with 14,582,030 points with Tangerine. So you can see almost all of the top scores were with that Red 2 or Tangerine ship. Now we start to get into some variety. Samsonite STG had 11,271,094 points with Blue 1. IHAZ did 10,349,447 with Red 1. Rin, as mentioned, got 7,984,512 with Purple 1. Talkerbot did 7,449,465 points with Green 1. Corkman 77 did 5,239,814 points with Red 1. And then Zerolux had 5,187,041 points with Red 1. And he actually uploaded that. It was a blind 1cc, literally first try. And so congrats and shout out to Zerolux for that first try 1cc. That's always a fun experience when you can clear a game on your first try, even if it's low scoring or very scrappy. It's still kind of cool when you can accomplish that. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I like this game, but you can see very much that it's held together by duct tape, and sometimes that duct tape comes flying off and all heck breaks loose and you run into some problems. But I think that projects like this are absolutely wonderful because they are they're not a polished and defined and honed down into. They're dirty. They've got substance. It's allows you to get a better sense of what you like in shmups, what you don't, new ideas. These are the ones that really sort of push in the desire and taste. Like, what do I really like? What would be neat to try? This is something that differentiates in a good way than a lot of the stuff that we were seeing. even back in when we first started the podcast, now, and I know that Trem 88, also known as Ed was talking about. I keep forgetting. I think he's getting close to going through as many aliases as Prince by now. And his name escapes me. What was his other one that was known by? It wasn't Ed. It wasn't Etram. It was
Sir Flash.
Sir Flash, a Studio Mud Prince. Was talking about how everything started to feel the same, right? Everyone, vertizontal. Vertizontal's away. And it's like, hey, bullet grazing's away. It felt like someone would pick a trend and then everyone would just try and latch onto it. In this game, flaws and all, tries to be its own thing. Whether that clicks with you, doesn't, it certainly makes for an enjoyable ride. And I guess the closest I have is maybe one of those Red Bull where they try and see if stuff flies. Or where you could be running, all of a sudden the wheels fall off.
Right.
Or the wings fall off. It reminds me of one of those. It's very unpredictable, even in the best case situation. But when you get it going just right, it's a heck of a ride. Right? This is sort of like a shmup roller coaster where at any point it could ram into a wall or the wheels could fall off. It definitely leaves an impression on you, good or ill. And I did like the music, and it's not something I'm not going to be humming outside from, but I did enjoy the game. I think with some more polish, yes, it could be something that really turns into something, but the way it is now, in its unapologetic form, really gives people a chance to grasp something that you don't know. Is a lot of the stuff you see, especially with the crashes on Steam, all the changes people had to make, but it gives you a chance to play something that you just don't normally get these days. Either it's a, hey, I'm trying this out, here's my itch.io page, or it's a very finely polished and vetted process where nothing breaks. And it's really cool to see something that held duct tape and all seems to work most of the time and provides an enjoyable experience. It may not be my first recommendation for somebody, but if someone says, hey, I'm sick of following all these trends, well, I want to try something different, this is certainly something different.
Yeah. I'm going to start by, I guess, explaining some of the technical issues that I had during the month. I made the, I guess I could say, mistake, perhaps, of playing the Steam version instead of my Switch copy that I got in the mail, primarily just for convenience. And as we have discussed, the Steam version is definitely fraught with some issues. For one thing, I don't know what it was, but even though, as you know, my gaming rig is pretty powerful, for some reason, after a while, it got to the point where I would play for a little bit and then the game would slow to a crawl, and it would be basically like 2 frames per second, and there was nothing that I could do to fix it. And even after forcibly closing the game with Alt F4, Windows was then completely bereft of resources, and the only way to fix it was a reboot. There were a couple, 3 times, I think, where during the month while I was streaming, I ended up having to reboot that computer 3 or 4 times during a stream. It became very frustrating. I found that the best way to actually play it then was by launching the game's executable outside of Steam. The benefit to that, of course, meant that it ran clean. The detriment was that I was not able to use the Steam input options to give me additional auto fire, on a separate button, which was handy to have early in the month. However, with a couple of exceptions, I think most ships don't benefit that much from autofire because as mentioned previously, a gentle tapping rate is plenty for most of the ships, because much like a Psycho game or a video systems game, one press of the fire button gives you a large volley, and so you don't have to sit there and Takahashi Meijin the game. You can just sort of tap at a steady, consistent pace to do your regular fire. And so I felt like autofire was handy, but not necessary for this game. I kind of liken it to my old boss used to have this expression. He described certain people as being so nervous and kind of scatterbrained that it's like they remind him of an old car flying down the interstate at high speed, where you see it drive by you and the fenders are just rattling as if they're about to come off. And I think at times the game does feel like that, as you said, held together by duct tape, baling wire, and hopes and dreams. Despite all of that, this game got its hooks in me. I found the scoring to be addictive. I found the gameplay, warts and all, to be quirky, interesting, and varied. I would almost call this a kitchen sink shmup. You know the expression, oh yeah, they threw everything in but the kitchen sink. Well, in this game, they also threw in the kitchen sink. You kind of mentioned the shmup bandwagons that some of these games went through over time. This game is all of that at once. It's like, well, let's make a shmup that wants you to play close range. Well, but you can also play far range because of the bullets dissipating. Well, now you can do grazing, and that helps you out. Or now we're going to give you a really strategic ship to play with that you have to be real careful about your positioning and all of this stuff. And it's just a lot of that all at once. This might seem like a clumsy analogy, but go with me. I think of it like the Rocky movies. And someone mentioned Devil Blade Reboot in the comments earlier, so I'll use that. Devil Blade Reboot is the Apollo Creed. Professional, well-trained, polished, and highly skilled, but also, you could say, a limited range of what he could do as a fighter and what that game does in terms of its scope. But that's a benefit for that game. Mecha Ritz is more like Rocky Balboa. Unpolished, scrappy, barely hanging on sometimes, but very much the underdog, and also not to be counted out, because just when you least expect it, the game can surprise you with interesting mechanics or a different ship that might really work for your playstyle, and with multiple routes and multiple final boss fights, it really gives you a lot. And so I feel like, don't ever count it out completely, because if you do, I think you'll be missing out on something special. Is it going to be for everyone? No. But I mean, you could really say that about any shoot 'em up or any game in general. There is no game that is universally loved or universally considered great. I mean, I think most people enjoy Tetris, but I do know a couple of people who can't stand Tetris. And so in this regard, while this is a much more narrow scope, I feel like there are people like myself who really took to this game and enjoy it quite a bit. And yeah, this game really spoke to me for some reason. I don't know. I think it's probably a combination of just how wacky it is, also how approachable it can be, because getting a basic clear is not that difficult if you have some experience with danmaku games and with shoot 'em ups. If you've learned how to read the screen, how to do some routing, how to do both micro and macro dodging, and learn how to effectively use resources like bombing when you need to and so forth, you can get through this thing without an inordinate amount of effort. But if you dig in and you put in the effort, the game, I think, pays in dividends, and it rewards you by opening up that much more with each new ship that you try, each new clear that you get, each new route that you take, and each new approach that you learn how to take, because each ship in many ways demands its own approach due to how differently they control, behave, attack, defend, etc. And so, I don't know. I didn't clear with all the ships. I think I cleared with 5, maybe 6 of them. But I just really think this game has a lot going on and a lot to offer. Is it perfect? No, not even remotely. As you said, it feels like it's held together with duct tape. But there's a certain charm in that, because like a lot of Dojin games, there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of...
It has a je ne sais quoi?
Well, no, I was going to say there's a lot of ambition here. I don't think all of that ambition is fully realized, nor do I think that it's all fully directed as smoothly as it should be. And of course, because Hay is, I believe, not a programmer, but the game was done in the shooting game builder, there are some issues with the game that I think could be fixed if the actual back-end code was improved upon or tightened up in some way, so that it wasn't relying quite so heavily on the mechanics of the game engine itself. Despite all of that, I really like this game, and because I haven't cleared with all the ships yet, I still am tempted to go back and try to finish getting clears with the rest of them, because they all play different enough that I feel like each one could be a rewarding experience.
Yeah, and you can finally defeat the true last boss, Clubber Lane.
Yes. So anyway, the TLDR is, I really like this game. It's not perfect, but it's a heck of a ride. And I think that if you even remotely like danmaku games or games with engaging scoring systems, this one is well worth checking out.
Or as they say in the episode of Bluey called Hammerburn, which my kids have made me watch so many times, it's a bit dodgy, but it's got character.
Yes, that's a nice succinct way to put it.
So, all right, coming up, or we are just finishing up on right now, is the shmup cleaning product known as Drainus. And then follow that, we start our Summer of Rays with some sort of Ray game here. I don't know why it keeps... Thanks. Now I should have never said Klepper Lane, because now it took me to a picture of Klepper Lane instead of our game of June, which is Ray Crisis.
Yeah.
So get ready for that. Right now it's on sale on the eShop on the Einen sale.
Yeah. And I guess just a reminder, we're doing, for our Rays of Summer event, we're doing the games in story order instead of release order. And as we go through the month, it'll make more sense why we're doing that. So it'll be Ray Crisis in June, Ray Force in July, and Ray Storm in August.
Sounds good to me. So I'd like to also give thanks to E-Tram for the logo. I'd like to mention the podcast shirts, which I'm sure there'll be at least 3 more on there. Do you even rank, bro? So on Redbubble Kogosu for the intro and outro music. I'd like to also thank everybody for their patience and understanding. Please understand as we are falling a little bit behind, but we are doing our best to keep everything moving, as people are certainly moving in and about for the getting ready for summer, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, getting ready for winter. And like to thank MetalFRO for streaming and for the game of the month, or Breath of the Wild, or whatever have you. So thank you very, very much, and catch you next time.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to shout out some of the YouTubers, some of whom are in our Discord. Zerolux, Samsonite STG, and the Hidden Fortress, among others. We've some of us have kind of been doing this new idea on YouTube, where we're posting failed 1cc runs and basically commentating over them, so as to kind of go over what worked, what didn't, why did this run fail, so that instead of just posting 1cc runs to say, hey, I did it, this is a way to demonstrate why sometimes these things don't work, and how you can get to the end of the game and, just sort of not get across the finish line. I did that recently with KaiCon, which of course I'm working on for Shmup Slam 8. And my highest score ever that I got here recently was just a few days ago. And it was not a clear, but it was nearly twice the score of the run that I did when I 1cc'd at the end of the month that we covered that game. And so, it's one of those things that I think is a cool idea. I'm glad people are doing it, and I definitely want to see more of that, so that as players we can be encouraging one another. I say all the time on my streams, I am my own harshest critic. And sometimes I get pretty down on myself when I play. I mean, last night when I was streaming Draenus, I was beating myself up pretty bad. But I also understand intellectually, not necessarily in the heat of the moment, but I can reflect upon that later and go, yeah, I was pretty hard on myself. I was probably playing better than I thought I was doing. And yeah, this game is pretty hard in this mode or whatever. And so it's a way to go back and evaluate your own progress, but then also to hopefully encourage others who maybe are struggling with a game, to show them, oh, here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's why my run failed, and make a good case study on a certain game in that respect. So anyway, I hope to see more of that, and maybe even do more of that in the future, where maybe I can go back and commentate some of my own failed runs and analyze my gameplay a little bit better, so that I can approach some of these games in a more cerebral way, let's say.
Now, I have to be honest with you. If these replays are not in 140p, I'm not going to watch them.
Okay, well, you'll be disappointed.
Oh,
Now, 140p, 144p runs, that's only for super players.
oh, I see. You have to get to Jamer's level in order to get that. Well, here's what you do. You take some of it, you make it look like an old VHS tape. We'll call it even.
Ah, there you go. All right. Anything else that we need to say?
Thank you very much, and we will talk more about the cleaning product known as Drainus soon.
Yes. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Please understand.
Thank you. It looks fine.
All right, listen. Since you're still not making any noise, I'm choosing the menu. When you start to talk, you can pick. Eggs Bradley, made them myself. Hope you like them. What's wrong? Don't like my eggs? What? Okay. Okay, I heard you. Don't be pretending you can't talk. Listen, if you don't speak, I don't know what you want. All you gotta do is tell me anything you want. All you gotta do is make the call. This is like room service here, man. You ever been to a hotel? So what do you want? Cheeseburger? Huh? No. You like caviar and shit like that, right? Cool, man. Just tell me you want caviar. Come on, say caviar. Caviar. What? Come on, man, say it.
Ritz.
Ritz. You want some crackers? You can have anything you want. You want some crackers? Get this man some Ritz crackers!
Ritz.